Zoomaa. I'm joined by the 20-time champion, the 2-time world champion, one of the best of the bases, a legend to the scene, Mr. Patty P. Aches. What's going on, Pat? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A long day of games.
A long day.
Time to break them down.
Yep, gonna break them down. We also got Ben J in the scene with us today. Shout out to Ben, the staple to the Call of Duty scene, my duo, my companion. You know the fucking vibes. You guys have heard it a million fucking times. Ben, what's going on, bro? Busy weekend over there with Esports Engine?
Busy weekend. You know, it's the first set of studio shows. We had to get Veli in because he got stuck in a snowstorm, so we had him over today. And yeah, I mean, I was over there, and then I came over here so we could do the show.
Hell yeah.
Real full set of matches today. A lot to talk about.
Yeah,
how does that work, Ben? Is all talent in Columbus? Is that the setup?
Right now, we have the desk in Columbus, so we got Veli, Ali, and Ant, and then all the casters are remote.
But they're all living in Columbus? They're like full-time Columbus?
For during when we're recording matches, yeah, like they're gonna be around. I mean, Ant lives here, so
yeah.
But the other two, we got good connects from them, like apartments, so that they can like be chilling while they're here.
For sure.
For sure. Listen, we had a long day today. We had a lot of matches, and they were going down to the wire. I think there was a few upsets, a lot of things that people didn't really expect today, and I think it's going to be a really good show. We have some people coming on. Obviously, London took down OpTic Texas today, so I think Trey Zero's coming on. Some people wanted to hear from Gizmo. A lot of people told me to get Gizmo in there. I think he's coming on as well. So we'll have a couple players. And then, Ben, you have a special guest who wants to join the show as well.
Yeah, we're going to get Sean Collins from the Dallas Morning News to talk about the OpTic series. So we got a lot to dive in here about.
Oh, then let's get right into it. We're going to switch over. We're going to switch screens here, and we're just going to dive deep and do what we do. I think this is the right scene. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we start things off with Paris Legion going up against Atlanta FaZe. Take a look at the vetoes here. This series was a huge surprise to me. I did not expect Paris to come out firing like this. They did really, really good. Ben, or Pat, anything with the vetoes? Anything that catches your eye?
I can't see him. Ben skipped him for me.
Oh, I skipped him. I'll go back to videos.
You can go back. I mean, anything. I mean, nothing that really caught my eye, but anything that caught your eye. I feel like as the year goes on, we'll start realizing what teams are good on what maps. We need some more analytics, right? We need some more maps played.
I would say the first thing that caught my eye was Gava2. I didn't expect. I mean, obviously we don't know how teams are performing in scrims, but I mean, just off like the top of my head, I just don't feel like FaZe need to be playing that map, right? Especially against a Paris team. Like, you want to be playing maps that you can get mixy, like Tuscan, Bocage. Like, those are maps I feel like FaZe would dominate. But that's the first thing that stands out to me is we were still kind of, thinking about those teams, OpTic, FaZe playing Gava2 over some of the traditional mixier maps.
Yeah, it's weird too because I feel like you can get aggressive on Gava too, Pat. You
you get mixy though. You can get aggressive.
It's tough to get mixy. It is tough to get mixy because it's a lot of lanes, like a lot of
John
long lanes.
was doing it back to them. Like if we go back and we watch this full VOD, like John's doing the classic John stuff. He's playing the deep off angle. He's all triggering. And one other point on the Gava2 thing, Pat, is like, if you're FaZe right, you have to get rid of either Gava2 or Berlin if you're just going to try and play the mixy maps.
Dude,
so like,
Berlin is mixy.
Well, in this series, they were a team that did remove Berlin from the map.
Berlin is mixy. Yeah.
Bro, have you seen Kleenex on Berlin or Capsule?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll get to Toronto in a second, but I'm just saying if you want to avoid those long AR maps, you either choose one or the other.
Do you think Berlin's a long AR map? Because I don't at all.
There are way more long AR lanes on that map than, say...
There's long lanes on there.
There's lanes, but the hills aren't really like AR hills.
I think, Pat, though, to your point, like, I think clearly, and we'll get to it with the control, I think FaZe, like, have clearly struggled in Gava2 now across 2 series. And they're probably going to need to rethink, at least for their vetoes tomorrow, about maybe leaving Berlin in and taking Gava2 out until they figure out what's going on with hardpoint and control.
Well, we could talk about FaZe, but I do want to talk about Paris because they came out and shocked the world today. I don't think anybody expected Paris to come out and take FaZe all the way to a Game 5. And not just that, but they looked good.
Whoa, nobody expected that?
Okay, Pat, you said it once and then you talked it back. But it impressed me, and John really impressed me today. I feel like John was just looking like prime John. The way he was hitting shimmies and the way he was challenging his gunfights and his ones, he just looked like he was in rhythm. It looked like he was in form. I feel like this Paris team has a good foundation. I feel like they got a lot of confidence in that.
I mean, watch his gunfight, man.
Well, John?
Yeah, it's a nice shimmy here.
Yeah.
To get the trade, and then he just rips Alec off the side.
Yeah,
Off the side
it's
of,
a really good shot. He was
middle.
piecing all series.
And Timp played really well.
Yeah, Donnie
all series
too.
long as
Donnie
well. And I
played
think and that's something we were talking about yesterday, was we wanted to see, you know, or when we were doing our predictions, we wanted to see like Timp come out and be hot, but he played really well in this series overall.
Yeah, he was popping off. I was really happy to see him. I feel like the automaton kind of fixed his play style too. I like watching him use that gun. So shout out to Paris. I just want to give him some love because I feel like a lot of people, including ourselves, had him ranked really low on our tier list, and they came out and they proved to everybody that, listen, they're not going to be a walk in the park this year. I don't want to pass some of these teams like Seattle, London, Paris. Some of these guys have been at the bottom of the league, but they completely have changed their rosters now. These guys are completely different. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of freebies this year. You know how like last year, teams always had like those free wins? Because it was just like the teams were suck, you know. Now it's just, I feel like you don't have those free wins anymore. You have to beat turn every single match.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clear at the beginning of the season right now that there's an insane amount of parity. If we want to pause, we can hop in and listen in a second. But I agree with you. Like, I think at least for this stage, it looks like all 12 teams have come to play. It's going to be a real fight to see how the seeding shakes out for Major 1.
Yep.
And just kind of going off the tier list, I think people will get kind of distraught a little bit when there's like S, A, B, C, D, you know, that it's spread out, but those are really close like segments, right? Like just because you're in D compared to an A team, like it's so close. Those it's just very minute.
So, listen, we have to put some people in D and C and B. You know, everybody can't be fucking S and A.
Everybody the
yeah,
same
I mean,
category.
we just can't do that. I mean, the tier list wouldn't work. But listen, at the end of the day, if we're tossing teams down low at the tier list, they're gonna come out and prove us wrong. And we saw Gizmo talking about it in his interview. We'll get there when we get to the London series. But let's go on board with this listening and let's see how Paris sound.
I'm going boat. He could be our outer. He could be a little beach on us. Outer. Good call. One shot outer. Do you have me? I got it, John. John, try that. Alright. BZ's top boat. BZ is top boat.
I'm gonna go cliff.
Oh, he's at the rock. Or the pillar.
Clip a BG.
Dead clip. Nice. I'm on me old. Yeah, he's deep though. I got it. I'm close RCDs, yeah? Yeah, I'm holding top boat, I think. I'm holding it. He's top boat. Selling him dead. I'm trying to go mid. We're missing Simp, I think. Simp. Top boat and their ladder. Top boat dead. One more. Go.
Ring. I'm leaving him.
Simp, he's on the beach. Simp, he went top.
He's their front boat. I came down R-ring stairs. I'm hitting Tom.
I hit him mid door.
I got it.
That was good move from John.
Yeah, good play.
One shot P3.
He's one shot time. And two top boat.
Top red.
Yeah, one more hole in the wall.
Spawn here, we flip.
Yep, I'm hitting on set P5. I need a clip. Need it up.
I don't see anything.
There's not enough. BZ one shot.
Hill.
BZ was super weak in hill, guys.
Absolute top boat.
Alright, make
I
sure.
mean, I think their comms are pretty good, Tom. I mean, we can
No, they had great comms. I think there was a lot of small talk, especially Fellow. Fellow was yapping in there, but that's what Fellow does. You know, he likes to talk.
people call him Muttermouth for a reason.
And that's a good thing. I mean, it's always good to have a player like Fellow on your team that just is counting players, seeing who we're missing, stuff like that. That's good stuff that you want to hear. Me personally, I think Paris just stayed ahead of rotation this whole entire game.
They had a lead start to finish. I mean, they got off to a big start. FaZe got a lot of time on some of these P2s and P4s.
Yeah, P2 and P4. P1, P3, and P5 was all Paris. They just rotated to all the hills and just locked them down, and it just didn't seem like FaZe had an answer for it. And they were winning a lot of fights too. They were. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
To go back to the Gavitu thing, you know, oddly enough for FaZe, it's the sub players of BZ and Simp that have really struggled on this map. So I think one for FaZe to probably watch, and we'll see what they do with their map pool going forward. But they're gonna have to figure out.
Well, this is also like a 3 auto map, right? Like
correct.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm FaZe, I'm looking at just from a roster standpoint and the talent I have, and I'm avoiding any map that's 3 ARs. I want to be 2 subs on every map. Not saying they can't play well on 3 AR maps, but it doesn't really fit their strengths. I think they need to stay to that. That's what's worked for them for multiple years now.
Yeah. Well, listen, even in the beginning of the season, I think they're going to try and get their feet wet, maybe figure out what their best maps are and what their worst maps are. You can tell from scrims, but at the same time, I feel like you never really get like an actual, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't actually get an actual look unless you actually play in an actual match, you know?
Yeah,
scrims don't tell.
Right?
Yeah, people play different,
especially
and it's way,
like
Well, Gavitu, man, it's just I just don't like the map in general. I don't like it. I'm surprised I'm seeing a lot of teams play it because the map in general just doesn't play out well in my opinion. But I mean, FaZe, I think as time goes on, they'll probably figure out what their worst maps are, what their good maps are. and move on. But then we get into a Desert Siege, S&D. Go ahead, Ben. I didn't mean to cut you off.
They look pretty repaired in both these S&Ds. I mean, you got Tupac over there probably grinding S&D coming to strats. I thought MC went off on this map. It's absolute match they are, especially in field here. You're going to watch him get 3 kills this round. I know there was a little bit of controversy later in this map with auto aim through walls, but I think he did most of his damage really on the slower side of the map. On both offense and defense, just bro, Donnie gets absolutely ripped here. Just MC playing on the head glitch. I mean, it's just a big move when your AR is locking those big lanes and your subs can kind of clog the middle, especially in house. Monday.
And not just that, I feel like both teams did a good job getting aggressive sometimes. Like they were switching up the pace of the map. I don't know if you remember some of these rounds, but just hitting up mid, some individual play from a BZ, like hitting gaps, finding the gaps in the wall.
Well, yeah, let me skip to that because it's this round, this 4th round, I believe, when he gets through.
It's just, I like the individual play, Ben. You know, I feel like a lot of teams now have really talented players where anybody can make plays like this and find gaps. And like right here, Ben, you see this in Pat, 7 and 8 just kind of storming through the mid.
I think I saw, I mean, I know we're talking about FaZe, but I think just to that point, I think we saw that from London a ton in their SMD. I think they do it better than any team right now that I've seen.
They're confident. They're decisive. It's like, it's night and day. I love decisive. I love that fucking way. And I like the trigger discipline too from a BZ. He doesn't get overzealous. He doesn't just start lighting people up as soon as he sees them. He waits till he has everybody lined up in his sights, and he picks up a 3-piece. Or does he gets the ace, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure he gets the ace right here. BZ chases him down, and I think he chases Donnie down in here. I think Donnie kills somebody. He kills Simp. I think Simp was giving a BZ to kill here, which is a good heads up play because you want to get him in streaks. Or maybe he just got shit on. Or maybe he just got shit on. I can't tell. I can't tell.
One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. And then BZ got a little overzealous the next round, and he went crazy. But Paris did a good job as well. I think Paris went down in the S&D. They started picking up the pace a little bit. They did a good mid hit. And then the snipers, too. Ben, a lot of hit markers with the snipes.
Yeah, people getting limb shots, but I mean, we have to agree. I definitely this game on the S&D side is a little bit more fun to watch than Cold War. I'll give it that. Just with the snipers, I just feel like there's a little more dynamicism. I understand though, and I see why Smokes got red, and we haven't seen them at all in this stage due to the one-way issue.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, because I know you brought it up in the beginning of this game. Because I saw like the Draza tweet to Simp about the like auto aim through the wall stuff. I feel like the auto aim through the wall is like a way bigger deal. Like doing this is a way bigger deal than the smoke stuff.
They just haven't. I mean, it's been a thing for quite a few CODs now, right? Like at least 3 or 4 years.
Not really. Not to this extent. Not to this extent. I feel like now it's really bad.
It was pretty bad on Piccadilly in Modern Warfare, if I remember correctly.
My point is like the intent, right? Like if it happens accidentally, whatever. But if you're like going somewhere and you're pre-aiming through a train, just swiping left and right to see if you get auto aim, like that's a problem, bro. That's super avoidable. Like that's you can easily say, hey, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
It's definitely something in engine they should try and fix, just because it makes especially with this map, if you could just sit in the middle and just kind of see like who's on A, and especially where they're playing. Like,
it's Fugate.
It makes it super easy on offense. You just kind of know where to overload and get your picks.
Yeah. And listen, everybody was doing it. I mean, FaZe was doing it, but sure. Paris was doing it too. You see it in the other series. Everybody's aiming through walls. Everybody's trying to figure out where, I feel like
everyone's paranoid. Is the other team doing it? Like, we got to do it? Like, that's why everyone just agree, like, oh, just don't do that shit. Because it's definitely going to happen accidentally, but, like, when you're just sitting there kind of doing what you said, just, like, looking to hold off a lane, like, that's just a problem.
Nah, I agree. And these are things that they're going to have to fix. I personally don't see that getting fixed. I feel like that's a lot harder to fix. I feel like that's
that's definitely a hard issue.
Alex almost felt the map right there.
But I think it's a timeline issue, like priority.
Yeah, you almost felt the map. You think it's a timeline issue, priority? You think that's what it is?
I think they're aware of it. It's just like, when the hell is that gonna be implemented and fixed? Like, how long down the pipeline of stuff that they're doing?
Good question, for sure.
FaZe did a good job. They stayed patient on their defenses. They didn't force anything. On Desert Siege, what I noticed with a lot of teams is they just spread the map. Especially on defense, which is funny because the round we're watching now, they're not spreading the map. But for most of the time, they're spreading the map. Like you saw Cell that was all the way in that back corner, right, holding the hills. And then you have everybody stacking A or stacking mid. They just have all the lanes pretty much cut off. You don't want anybody sneaking through.
It's the one thing with FaZe. You have a lot of teams that have good island players, but they struggle to play these aggressive playstyles. FaZe can play both ways, right? They can go hard counter, or they can let Alec and MC hold down power positions and play island players, and it's just really hard to get out of those spots. That's why they've been a dangerous S&D team. all of last year.
I think it's all 4 of them that can really play that island role if they wanted to, right? Like, I think we see it in a BZ, like when he does get pushed up, like make a play in the beginning of the round, then he has the option to play the island late, and I think he does a really good job doing that as well.
Yeah. Pat, I wanted to ask you, Pat, because Ben was tweeting and he was saying talking about FaZe's sub pressure on this map. And I know that me and you've been talking about Pred a lot, how he gets aggressive, gets into the base, and not just Pred. I've been seeing a lot of people do it. It just seems like it's the right way to play this map. You just get aggressive when you get those kills. John was doing it, where he just kind of books it to the spawn. What do you think? Do you think FaZe is not doing that right? Because I feel like you never really see guys from FaZe getting in those positions.
Yeah, I think it's like a overall team, like how they're directionally advancing on the map. Because when you look at Pred, like he's always just like that clip we were watching.
His first instinct is to go forward,
right through the spawn. He didn't try to do anything else. He got a kill and went straight to the spawn to spawn kill.
Yeah.
And I think FaZe is kind of playing it more traditional, where they're like advancing as a team, and then that gap is closed. So when they try to advance as a sub, they're just getting picked off by an auto. Whereas Pred is just like, fuck it, like I don't care, I'm making the play right away. Yeah. And that's the big difference, kind of what I've seen. So
Ben, is that why you tweeted that? I wasn't sure what you meant by your tweet when you said there needs to be more sub pressure.
Exactly what I meant. So he's got to kind of figure out, look, are they just going to commit to the 3 auto, or like are they just not really putting themselves in good positions to win gunfights and not playing sneaky enough in positions where on this map where you can take advantage of the sub play. It's kind of one to watch.
You don't want to be mid-map with a sub. Like, you just don't. You want to be in their building, in their spawn, as more up in their face as you can get. And I think they're just playing more like they're holding boat control with subs. That's not going to work.
You can hold boat control and subs, but you got to play it like super off angle, L trigger. Like, you got to
like challenging autos.
You can't. You're not. It's going to be hard to slide and snap on the autos. Like, that's. I agree with you on that. But John was doing work to them in the boat. Like, he was getting 1 or 2 pieces on the sub players. Like, he was winning those battles by doing classic John stuff. Playing.
That was like mostly retaking the boat stuff.
Yeah.
Not too much holding it.
But that's a problem everybody has, just in general, because there's so many angles you got to check. It's hard to get through middle.
Paris trolled right before they capped
maps. There's just so many angles to check, period, on these maps, and I think that's why you see these subs like not care to. It's just the mentality is spawn kill, spawn kill, spawn kill. Because when you're spawn killing and you're in their base, you ain't gotta worry about much. You just gotta worry about being aware of where they're coming off spawn at.
There's a bit of an odd situation here, and this is kind of a Paris ends up winning this map. And there's some tweets back and forth. Like, you're gonna watch as this plays out. The number 5 and 6 RCs and Cell are gonna continue to hold this like pushed outside the map while their teammates just get spawn killed over.
Yeah, they get put in a blender here. And
go ahead, Tom.
I was just gonna say, you got to give credit to John, honestly, and Donnie and all of Paris because listen, they got pushed into the spawn, but they're staying aggro. Like, they're never stop moving. They're always moving around. They're always changing up their angles, and they just drained lives in 1 minute. They drained so many lives. It went down so fast.
You just gotta make the decision to help, right? Like, you're not spawn killing anyone. Like 5 and 6, there hasn't been a single white kill in the kill feed, so you don't need to keep watching their spawn. Like, they're all in your spawn. You might as well back up and try and help your teammates out.
Yeah. Nah, and maybe they were just, because at the end of the day, maybe they just had trust in their teammates. They just get the kills when they come off a spawn, and then they can hold rank control.
I know they're simping a BZ, but they're not 2v4ing when they're getting spawned.
I guess their thought process is like, on this map, if you push out and you're in their base, like, it's over. It's so hard to get out of that trap, and so they're just trying to like set up 2 steps ahead. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They like the issue though is all 4 Paris players are in their spawn versus 2 guys who just have no idea what direction to look off when they spawn.
Yeah. They spawn up and they're already getting shot at from 3 different directions. And listen, Paris does a good job constantly stopping that time, right? Getting on the point, stopping the time, and having people get into the base and spawn kill. That's the best way to win offensive rounds, is by draining lives. That's just how control is played at in this game.
On both maps.
But
both maps.
I mean, we finally saw Tuscan control today, which was like the first, 4 or 5 series later, we finally saw one.
In a minute.
But I think the best way to win offense right now, or at least that I'm noticing, just watching the maps back, is just kills. It's basically like a TDM, keep stopping the clock, keep getting somebody on the point, and push out and get kills.
And I think part of that too is like you don't get the incremental tick of time, right? You only get 1 full time. I think that was a big change in Cold War that kind of allowed that, not focusing on kills as much, because you could actually progress your time with ticks, but you just can't do it now.
No, it's just not going to work. And you see every team playing like that, where people don't even stack anymore. You don't even see that many stacks. Rarely you'll see stacks come in if it's like, everybody's there, you could get it real quick, sure, hop on. But for the most part, like you see people just hopping on a point, you'll get one guy, and the rest of them are just pushing out, getting kills.
We'll talk about that later. I still think that stack is viable. I just think people just so worried about some of the lanes, especially on Tuscan, and they'll kind of figure it out. But
well, I think like the reason I feel like stacks aren't as viable, especially as they were in Cold War, is one, no trophies, and two, I feel like you can just get back so fast. Like,
yeah,
I don't feel like the time that you're stacking and capping is as beneficial when people are spawning so close to the point on defense and getting back to it.
It's the only way to get B on this map, though. Like you need to put pressure on the team to slide in.
Or you just fully push out and spawn kill.
But that's so hard. It's so hard to set up on this map, though. Is the problem. Like I agree with you. It'd be great if you could just sit there and push out their back tank and spawn them like default. But it is very hard to get in that position whilst also having the pressure on the point itself.
Yeah, winning offense is very difficult.
Like no one's been really. It's so hard to win offense on this map.
I mean, you see it when people. Usually, when you see teams winning offense right now in control, it's because of individual play. Just somebody going huge, like somebody just going rogue.
And then even then, we'll see the LIG series where Asim had about 59 kills, and they still lost a round of offense.
Yeah, that was crazy. Which shout out to Asim, by the way, because he struggled. He struggled the first few couple maps at the kickoff. He struggled, and then obviously the series just today he popped the fuck off.
He had himself a series.
He had himself a fucking series. He came to play today, and he told me he was gonna turn up. Though this guy's an animal. But we'll get there.
Do you want to do the FaZe listening, or do you want to skip it?
Yeah, we could do the. Well, I'll listen for like 30 seconds, and we'll cut it when we get into the FaZe listening. For sure. Let's tune in.
This guy is though. I don't know where the last guy is. It's on the back. It's on the back. It's on one shot. I have on time. I have arch. Look at the top. Double front.
Nice, dead.
Watch out, fella.
Dead.
One more front.
I killed.
I spawned the back.
I killed.
Good job.
I'm
tapping a field.
I killed.
Okay. Yo, get time.
I killed.
Donnie top.
Wait.
I have my front door. He's just sitting top. Front door.
Nobody.
Both weak. Another one. All there then. Okay, John then. Nice. I'm rotating.
I'm rotating Regis.
Yep. I'm trying to get up top.
Yes. I'm one for the pinch.
Okay, I'm up higher.
It's weak.
I'm not being good. I'm on a pinch. There's that window.
Yo, you just I saw me, I think. No, he didn't see me.
Oh, he shot out.
I'm gonna fight. He's going down. Wait for me, guys.
Wait for him.
I'm gonna lower it here. So one, I just want to say, MC with really good comms right there. He's on the pinch, and you hear him just telling his teammates, "Stay alive. Nobody fucking move. Wait for me. Wait till I make the play." He's the one who takes the long route. He's gonna be the one who opens things up. That's how it always works. Whoever's taking a route, whoever's taking their time, they're gonna be the odd ones out. They need to make the play. MC gets a kill in the back, and instead of just running towards the hill, he stays alive on their side, plays his life, doubles back, and gets another kill. Spawns Paris all the way out. This is where it completely flipped the switch in the game.
Yeah, they blew them out.
FaZe blew them out after
They
this.
didn't really blow them out, but blew
them out on this hill for the rest of it.
40 points is a big difference, and when you just split 30s from there, you're valid. So.
Yeah. I think after this hill, FaZe just completely blew right by him. And again, it's just staying ahead of rotation. I know people were talking about Vanguard and you don't need to rotate this and that. No, in this game, you definitely have to rotate. You could tell that teams that get there first and set up put teams in a blender. If besides for honestly Boat Cage, I feel like Boat Cage is one of the maps.
The only one, yeah.
Boat Cage, you can probably go rogue and just run at people. You still got to play for spawns on a couple hills, but Boat Cage is a fucking mess right now. It's kind of just
on this map. If you're not rotating early, you're gonna lose.
You're chalked because then people just push out cuts like this, and I was talking about it when we were watching the OpTic game and how Dashy was pushing out cuts. I was liking what I was seeing. Like when you push out cuts like that in this game, you just give teams those deep spawns and they can't do anything about it, and they're just they're running into a blender. You keep changing up your angles, changing up your corners, and people can't keep track of you. So FaZe did a good job. They did a good job this map, just staying ahead of the game after that P5 and just constantly staying ahead of rotation and just honestly just gaining that lead, right? Just like, keep getting that lead going. So good job by FaZe. Good job.
We'll skip to the next map.
And honestly, man, I feel for Paris because I just feel like it would have been such a big win for them if they came out and took down FaZe.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like just
huge
confidence booster. Like part of me was like, damn, Paris really needs this. Like if they get this W, they need this. And now I hope they don't get deflated from it. I hope they get confidence from it because they looked really good.
Because the reason I don't think they will is because they won 2 respawns. Like you took 2 respawns against FaZe, and we always talked about the Paris team is like that. The S&D needs to be their bread and butter. That's got to be their focus.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're losing those goes, like I feel like that's not a simple fix, but like that's a priority fix for them. And if their respawns are looking as good as they are, they should be happy with how they played today.
I think, to be fair, FaZe also of many teams has like a lot of tools at their disposal to help them like get up to S&D quick, right? They have a coach specifically that's literally working there with them every day to set up breaks. So, but I think like I agree with you. I mean, even though Paris lost a series, man, taking 2 respawns off of FaZe, most importantly to me, like their success this year is going to fall a lot on the guys like Desi and John and Temp having big series, and to see them in that first series, especially John tee off, like it's good stuff this season. They can just kind of, go 3-2, 2-3. Like you're going to get yourselves in top 8 and play on the winner side of the bracket, and from there you're just taking it 1 series at a time. So
another thing that I want to know about this map is we saw them go B like once or twice, but majority A. A lot of teams just are kind of slow playing A. You don't see teams rush it at all, but I think FaZe did a good job just kind of playing corners in there and just being unpredictable a little bit. Sometimes you see people, they'll give up the A site and they'll back up into their base, right, and hold it with an AR. And you'll kind of just watch the cross to it. Like usually with some teams, I noticed that they're only sending 1 A on defense and just holding the crosses and just holding that bomb to see if anybody gets on it, And then he'll make the call and everybody rotates back. But FaZe blind countered Paris there. They stacked that A side and played corners in the site. So good heads up play. I don't know if they knew Paris was going to do that or if they just kind of took a guess. But
I mean, I think the problem is on offense. It's like it's getting in a position to get B bomb down is really hard. And on defense, it's like there are a couple ways you can do this, but like I saw a lot of teams today play A heavy and just like rely on someone B to like finesse around a B, get a kill, stay alive, and let the team rotate over. Seems like that's kind of meta right now, at least in this first week.
Yeah,
I don't really like sniping on offense on this map. I feel like John here again. I know John can snipe, but John was playing well. Like John was getting mixy. His gunny looked on. It's kind of the same thing I feel toward Pierce. Like I want to see him being more of a playmaker in S&D, especially on this roster when you have people like Desi and because Desi's more of an island player. Temp, same thing. Like I feel like John, I would want to prefer having him as a playmaker.
John actually clutches this round though.
Yeah, with a pistol though. I mean,
he outplayed the fuck out of him, read him like a book. Look at this.
He did read him. He read him here. He just completely outplayed him. It was a good play out of John. He was on one today, dude. I'm telling you, this guy Juanito Benito was having a fucking day. He was having a day. But I agree with you, Pat. I agree with you because I feel like the sniper is constantly left alone and he's completely useless mid round. Like mid situational round, he's useless.
Clutching it, but otherwise he was completely useless, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. I just feel like they would benefit from him being more of an aggressive.
I agree.
So let's talk next for both these teams because we're gonna watch this round where Don almost clutches 1v3, and then it ends the round after that. So FaZe's gonna play Thieves tomorrow, and we'll do predictions for that. But that should be a series. Yeah, he almost clutches with 1v3.
So gunned him.
Paris have an interesting next series, and I think it's actually winnable in retrospect. We were obviously very high on this Boston team, but Paris plays them next, and like looking how Paris played today, like I think they've got a legitimate shot in that series. And if you were Paris and you're saying I played Boston and Atlanta went 1-1, I think you'd take that.
Well, here's the thing, like what you just said, right? Like I think they have a legitimate shot in this series. I think every team in this league is always gonna have a legitimate shot at winning the game.
At least right now, yeah.
At least right now, we have. I feel like right now it's just too close to call, right? So we'll see how that plays out as the season goes on. But right here, man, it's a cheeky angle from John, but again, I just feel like it's useless, man. I feel like it's useless.
There's just a better way to play this.
I even see
Especially
teams
down 1-5. Down 1-5.
Yeah, you're down 1-5, and then you also see people just beaming the snipers. Look, Cell almost gets him here. Look, like he almost gets him, bro. You kill in 2 bullets with the automaton. Like, it's just a better gun to have situationally. Honestly, the only map I like, Ben, on with sniping is Desert Siege. I feel like Desert Siege you can hold it.
Look at FaZe's setup, right, and why it's so hard. Like if they're gonna play a crossfire mid like this, and a guy back all the way back A, the only real picks you have is number 5 MC if you gun him off that tank. And unless you push up on offense and Alec kind of shows too much, like you're gonna never get in a position to kill a guy's mid unless you get super aggressive with the sniper. So I agree with you, Pat. It kind of limits like the speed of what you can kind of.
I also think there's just not that many like cheeky angles you can take with a sniper on offense. Like you're saying that MC's the only person who can get picked, and MC's only got to watch one thing, and it's that hop up on the train in the back. Like.
Yeah.
There's not much. There's too much predictability.
Yeah, and listen, I see somebody saying in the chat, well, that's everything's so close because of how the game, right? The game. I disagree. I think if you had these rosters in Cold War, it'd be the same thing. Like I just think there's so much talent now. Like everybody's just so good. The game plays into it a little bit, and it's still early on. So I understand that argument. But as the year goes on, man, I think these teams are just going to continually get better.
I think it's a combo of two things. One is obviously talent getting better, but
time
people
to kill.
understand. People were starting to understand though, like right mentality and prep work you got to do at the beginning of the season. Like I feel like there are always some teams that weren't so like versed in what that is, and now all teams 1 through 12 like understand how they need to get and what they need to get to in preseason, where they need to prepare, what kind of defaults and situations they need to approach. Like even a team like Paris that came a little bit short today, like they definitely put in a lot of prep work for this series.
And on top of that, I think the big thing is we went from 5v5 right to Cold War to back to like a Modern Warfare pace style game, and I think a big difference this year was people made rosters for the pace that this game was going to be expected to be played at. Like London stacked a lot of teams got a bunch of young guns who play at a very fast pace, heavy slay style, SMG, aggressive style. So I think, just team in general, teams kind of forming their rosters to benefit the style of game was a big part of it.
Yeah. I feel like as the year goes on, we'll start seeing the better teams kind of break away from the lower tier teams. I just
it always
personally
works that way too, right?
Yeah, it always works that way. It doesn't matter the game or whatever is going on. Like even if it's Vanguard, I think as the year goes on, the better teams are gonna start shying away from the bottom half teams. But I still think with all the talent in the league, I still think it doesn't matter to COD. That's my personal opinion. I could be wrong on that, but I just feel like when you look at the rosters on paper, you just never know what's going to happen. Obviously, some rosters look better than others, but what are you going to do? Let's get into the next series. We got OpTic Texas going up against the London Royal Ravens. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, okay? We all had London pretty low on our tier list. We had London pretty low on the tier list. They were going up against a team that we put in the S tier list, OpTic Texas, and London came out to play today, boys. They came out to play.
Before we hop into this, I want to introduce a special guest. We're going to have Sean Collins,
Sure.
Dallas Morning News. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Do you guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. You
yeah,
sounded good. Sean, what's going on, buddy? What's happening?
Doing all right. I appreciate you guys having me on. First time, I believe. I've spoken with Pat a few times in the past, and he's had some good insight. I talked to him about Vanguard a few weeks ago for his story, so it's nice to come full circle here a little bit.
Cool. Well, why don't you tell everybody what you do, Sean Collins? Let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I started covering esports for the Dallas Morning News in January 2020, covering the Dallas Empire, as well as the Dallas Fuel. And so I've been covering NV for a little over 2 years now, and so I covered the entire OpTic Texas thing. Before doing this, I was always into esports as well as like a gamer. I started on Modern Warfare 2, but
Oh. What a game, dude.
Iconic, especially for
Iconic,
clubs.
bro.
So let me ask you this, Sean. I mean, going into this, obviously OpTic had a tough loss in a tough series at Kickoff Classic. Like, were you expecting them to really kind of come out and force in the series? Were you surprised that London was able to take this game 5?
Okay, so initially I thought that this would be maybe like a 3-1 OpTic win, but London looked really good on Friday. So that kind of made a little bit of a difference there. I still thought OpTic was going to win today. And they should have, because they went up 2-0, and even when it was 2-2 on that last map, they were up 4-2. I mean, it's just like closing out a series. You got to be able to do that. But London looked good, and OpTic just they just seemed confused and sloppy in the most important moments.
They seemed frantic sometimes. They definitely seemed a little frantic. I think a lot of people were saying that. But go ahead, Pat.
I feel like they took their foot off the gas, right? They went up 2-0, but then kind of just got comfortable. But before we kind of go into this map and stuff, you had the vetoes up for a second. I just want to say, as soon as I saw those vetoes, I was like, win or lose, I don't really care what happens for OpTic in this series. I'm glad to see the map set that it was.
Yeah.
2 Bokages, 2 Berlins, Tuscan Control. Like, those are the maps that OpTic should be playing.
Yeah.
And this series to me, I mean, I definitely want to give props to London. We did have them low, and I think they kind of showed us what they were all about.
12th team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, we really hadn't seen enough of them to justify it. We knew they were young guns. We knew they had a potentially high ceiling, but we didn't really know what we'd get out of them. But to that point, still, I feel like this was an easy win series for OpTic, because let me just break down the stats really quick. Overall in this series, Seth had 105 kills. Okay.
That's 5 matches. That's crazy.
Next closest teammate had 75. That was Dashy. Shotzi had 74, and Illy had 72. if you told me on a roster of Seth, who's like turning 26, been competing in 12 COD titles, and then has like 3 not rookies, but 3 young gun teammates who are all disgusting, and he's going to be outslaying them by that much and them underperforming, and I think they all went negative. So
User was
Illy
neg
neg 20, Dashy neg 12, Shotzzy neg 20. Like, those stats to me don't make sense. I quote tweeted the Breaking Point Twitter when they tweet out the stats, and I'm like, bro, I'm mind blown. Like, how is Seth you going plus 20 and his whole team getting fried?
Yeah,
So,
he was piecing today too. He was going off. He was frying. Sorry, Ben. Just one thing. I was just saying. I just love seeing his energy, like on when you saw him on a camera and stuff, and seeing him get up and screaming and get hyped. It's just like old typical Seth, you know. It's cool to see him get back into that element. But go ahead, Ben. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I mean, I just dragged another guest in here, Trey Zero. Thanks for joining.
Trey, what's happening, fella?
Yo, what's good?
What's up, Trey? We just got your kill streak on a cam, bro. That was a nasty kill streak.
Drag my boy in there.
Yeah, let's get Gizmo in here. Let's get him in here. Is that him, Jay Giz?
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yo, Trey, how many rotations on Bokas did you hit that just didn't work out? I was losing full. I was like, bro, I think I went in Zoomaa's chat and I'm like, bro, if I see Trey make another game-winning rotation and it doesn't like work, I'm literally gonna lose it.
He came to my chat, yeah, because it's bow cage and Trey, you're hitting long routes, but in the end of the day, what does it actually do for you?
You can't hit a long route on your bow cage, mate. You just hit the hill.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a hilarious bookie. Neither team got 200 points. Like,
the
issue is, it's just like this map is just so like in scrims. This map plays completely different in scrims. Like in actual tournaments, just like matches, anything like that, it plays so much slower. And
really?
Honestly, yeah, way slower.
Interesting.
Like you're pushing on the hill and it just sits white because you're expecting like a lot more aggression. It's like finesse.
Well, just in scrims, it's just like, I don't know, scrims 8, it's just madness. But
does Gava2 play different?
Nah, this is genuinely the only.
No, I know
this
is
different.
Oh, really? It doesn't play any different. Gava2?
I mean, you know, Joey can back me up on this. I feel like bow cage compared to scrims to tournaments matches, like something important is just completely different.
Yeah.
But bow cage against OpTic plays different.
Yeah, let's also welcome Gizmo to the show. Gizmo, it's a pleasure having you, boss. The young superstar from the London Royal Ravens. How you doing, man? What's going on? Good win today, bro. Good win.
Thank you.
You popped off, and it's good to have you on the show, too. I don't think we ever officially met. So nice to meet you. How you doing?
Yeah, I just followed him today for the first time.
Yeah, it's a new guy.
I had to find the Twitter. By the way, can I ask how old are you? Because you mentioned on the interview.
Just turned 20. Like last
okay, in your interview, dude, I thought you were like 35. Not by your looks, but just like the way you were talking and kind of carrying yourself. I was like, damn, this guy sounds hella mature. Like he's been here a minute. So
what interview did you watch?
To be fair, I've been playing COD for like competitively since Black Ops 2, innit?
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
This guy sounds like Zerka. It's throwing me off. You guys know Zerka from the Sidemen? Do you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
Dude, you sound so much like him, bro. It's actually crazy. Yeah, Zerka. I don't know if you guys know who Zerka is, but if anybody knows who he is and he listens to Gizbot, yeah, shout out Sidemen.
I feel like we have to know him, Tom. Vixen, in London, isn't it?
Yeah, you guys should know. I mean, does he not? He sounds like him. He sounds like him a lot.
I'm pretty sure Trey and I used to sit and watch Sidemen content when we were.
We probably did, but we done a lot of things.
Yeah.
So walk us through this map a little bit, Trey. How did you guys feel? What do you guys think happened here? Do you guys feel like you should have won this map? Like, what was going on?
We had internet issues coming into this. That's why the game took so long to start.
Dude, you and everybody else, bro. Everybody's complaining about internet and ping and what? Yeah, what is going on?
Packet burst.
Our team speak it was our internet. It was nothing to do with the servers. We were getting like 10 to 15% packet loss in TeamSpeak, and everyone's voice was lagging.
Shout out Spectrum for that one.
Yeah, shout out Spectrum. We got a little running gimmick. I started it yesterday, to be honest. Is hashtag get Spectrum. This when you lose to us and you get Spectrum.
You get Spectrum, dude. I have Spectrum too, and it do be a little fugazi sometimes.
Oh, it's the worst thing on the planet. But listen, get Spectrum. Did it like
get Spectrum? It does wonders. You get
honestly,
that lag count.
I like, you know, the league has the comms, and you know, Joey can back me up or whatever. Like every map that we lost, every map we won, I was just saying like how proud I am, like how we're playing. Like we had a lot of bullshit going into this series, like, you know, with the internet, and you know, it's nice to be able to play with a bunch of people that can just put it behind you, especially like young people like, you know, Joey, you know, even Marcus, you know, Byron's not that young. He looks 16, but trust me, he's not.
No, you guys definitely look good today. Well, honestly, I feel like you guys just call confidence and momentum. And Gizmo, Joe, your name's Joe, right? Joe?
But Joseph, Joey, Joe.
Joey, we'll call you Joey. It's what I'm talking about. Joey, you talked about it a little bit in the interview, but just kind of the confidence that you guys built. You know, it's a young team. You guys are obviously super talented.
Yeah.
You told everybody to behave, you know, because listen, even us with the tier list, right? We fucked it up the tier list.
Following Aches earlier, mate, ranking us 11th, bro. Like,
yeah, he actually put y'all 12th. He actually put y'all behind. Yeah, he put y'all behind Paris.
I had you tied. 12th, yeah.
I already had, Joey, I already had this discussion with Mr. Pat Aches over here. One, I said we don't give a fuck about your tier list for starters. And
You should.
Fire, though.
And two, end of the day, 3 new players. Well, you know, 2 new players from challenges. You know, European challenges of that. No one's gonna rate us high.
Yeah, well, that's what I said too. There's no baseline for me or for any of us to really kind of set in stone. All we had to go off was the kickoff, because I mean we obviously don't know how you guys have been performing in scrims and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean you guys shut up. You all played well. Gizmo, you were frying.
Yeah.
I did want to ask though. I mean obviously you went down 2-0 in the series. What was your guys' mentality after that? Like going out 2-0. I mean you had a weird bocage or bocage, whatever you want to call it. And then you go into
we should not have lost the S&D. Like worst comes to worst.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about this.
Worst comes to worst. I literally said to these like we all know we should have won the S&D. Like I was playing for an RNG sound tour about the game. You know, we lost a pretty crucial 3v2. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff that went wrong in the S&D that we know about, but you know.
Yeah.
OpTic got up to a 4-2 lead, but then you guys got a couple of rounds here. This 1v1 was kind of crazy. A little bit of finesse from Nasty.
Well, I like the corner here. I think what I called this corner was Fugaze. That's a nice, good Fugaze corner. That is a good Fugaze corner right there. I mean, that's just, I feel like it's just like a basic corner, but nobody's like looking at that. Like everybody's looking deep, like maybe in the bomb site behind the tank, or maybe playing deep, looking through the cracks in the building. So I felt like that was a good corner right there. Good play. Nasty was popping off too with these fucking games.
Nah, these boys are like these guys are phenomenal. Yeah, these guys are phenomenal, bro. Like, I've said it year after year. Like every team that I have is like my favorite team, but you know this one tops it again. You know, I literally don't have to do anything. Like,
yeah, man, y'all are more vibey than our Black Ops 4 team, man. You're more vibey. There's no way.
I don't know, bro. It's pretty fucking vibey.
Yeah, you guys do look pretty vibey. You guys do look pretty vibey, dude.
You know, it's we have fun when we need to have fun and take it serious when we need to take it serious.
Yeah.
You know.
No, 100%.
Small little stat line I'll hit you with. You guys were the only team today to all go positive in your series, by the way.
Hey, we like that.
All 4
Wait,
of you
I didn't
went
go
positive.
Nah,
Yeah, you did. +1, Trey. +1.
Let's go, Trey. Let's go, Trey, boy.
Something, boys.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's bro. I honestly though, like in this team, I really have an easy role. You know, you sit there, I make the ones I need to make, and just calm down the boys.
Dude,
and
you've been hitting crazy rows, Trey. Crazy rows.
I'm trying, bro.
Yeah, no, I shouted it out. I'm like, dude, Trey is always hitting like you're giving up the scrap, like you're trusting your teammates, and you're just going to hit the money row for the next hill.
But that's my point really. Like, I'm allowed to do that. I got to trust these. Like I said, Joey said it. Like these guys have got some incredible gun skill, and I got to trust that. There's no point of having a 24-year-old man trying to hit the crack routes, mate. I'll hit the row.
I want to shift topics for a second. So it happened on both these maps. Sean, I want to bring you in. Like, OpTic goes out to a big lead. A couple of situations go the wrong way. And I know in this map, they end up clutching up, and the last one not. Like, talking to players in the team, kind of what's your sense from them on what might be the systemic cause of those issues?
Well, I think like the London guys are gonna be able to speak to this too, but there were just like moments, and I'd say like 30 seconds to a minute time frames when OpTic would just like stop making plays, but like can continue playing in the sense that like they're kind of just running at you. They're just playing too fast, and they're not waiting for Shotzi to complete his flank, or the two pieces coming in at way the wrong time, and like they just stop planning things out and more just like are in cruise control, and that's just not going to work in the league this year. I know I think it was on that second hard point, London just had a flanker. I think it was Nasty, just flanking constantly.
Yeah. And finding gaps, right, Sean? Just finding gaps.
Pieces, all over the place, and OpTic, like that first hard point, you guys broke it immediately. They had good spawns, but you guys flipped it so fast because just everybody was so boxed up, and there was nobody watching the stairs on the left. I just don't understand. They just didn't have angles a lot of the times. It just seems like maybe the comms weren't there, or everybody's got a different plan going on. But I know that Sender said that they're just not doing the things that they practice, which is like the classic thing that you say whenever your team's not performing as well. But the game feels more uncomfortable when
I
they're
saw a
playing
lot of
matches.
headless chicken comments on Twitter. A lot of headless chicken comments about OpTic today on Twitter.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like that they were just playing, like they were running with their heads cut off. Like,
yeah.
Just not together at all.
Yeah,
And
I've learned not to look on Twitter, Pat.
No, but I
good
think
thing,
you can kind of attribute that to. I mean, I think you guys caught them off guard, right? Like I think you guys had a big slaying presence, right? That like it was kind of keeping them out of their element.
Our team is like, and I'm being genuinely serious here, like, and Joey said it in his interview, we have some of the craziest slaying talent on this team. It's all about where we go with it.
Yep. And I think you would say the same for OpTic as well. I mean, they're a very stacked talent team, but if
that's why talent's not going to win you games, Ben?
If they're going to make too many individual plays and not use that to gain and lose, game map control and gain objectives, like you're not going to be able to convert that efficiently.
Yeah, I feel like OpTic's a team that right now they're just not getting it, but they will get it. I feel like they will eventually because they're all smart and they're talented players. The same thing I was saying when we were making a tier list. Remember, I didn't put them in S, and I was like, we'll put them at the front of A because I just feel like right now they're all so talented individually. Sure, on paper, sure, they're an S tier team. I just think right now they just need to get their fundamentals down and just make sure they're communicating and working together.
I want to break down. Go ahead, Trey, and then we'll...
I was gonna say I do want to give a shout out to our coach as well, Dominate. That's, I know Joey won. We love Dom, don't we, Joey?
He's a good guy, Dom.
He's a good lad.
He goes a bit unnoticed.
He's a quiet guy on Twitter.
Yeah, he goes a bit unnoticed, but like genuinely like helps out everyone, not just like game wise, just in general. He's actually a really fucking like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And everyone respects him, and he helps us out like day in, day out, and
You guys got a good foundation over there, Trey. You got a good squad all around.
I want to Trey have you walk us through this last round here. It was a bit of an odd situation. Afro gets into train.
We spoke about this. This was on me. I was worried about flank, worried about this. Then I had to get Marcus's cross. When Marcus got the kill on bomb, I should have just went up to the bomb and helped Marcus a bit more.
Yeah, he's playing for the sound queue too much.
No, I wasn't playing for the sound queue at all. I was watching his cross, and then I called out for him here. That's why Illy gets a bit weak. And then here, I'm sat on the bomb. I was playing for the sound queue and just playing for Illy just to push me or something like that.
Yeah, I thought you were just waiting for Inder to push you. At least that's what I said during the watch party.
I was waiting for Inder to push me. I wasn't really playing for the sound queue. I wasn't really playing for the sound queue like that. But like, I knew I could sound for it when he picked up bomb. But
yeah. Because right here with an automaton, like if he's in the site with an MP40, like it's kind of chalked. You can try and challenge it, but he's just gonna hold his corners and just hold his L trigger.
I mean, me, Tom, I always admit, like, try to always admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I said to these, like, that's on me for this round. Like, that's on me. We lost this round 11.
Listen, man, I saw a lot of people saying Trey on that too, and I personally thought it was a lot different of a situation. I didn't think it was as easy as a situation as people thought out to be with an automaton playing close quarter like that. And the first thing he's going to look at when he plants the fucking bomb is the window.
Also, a new situation on this game as well, because Silent Planter Zone just came in literally yesterday.
Yeah, they updated it, so we can't really sound, you can't sound the bombs at all now. So
I wanted to talk about that. You guys had a pretty, you guys ended up winning this offensive round.
This was sick.
And I'm curious what you guys thought, and Sean, what you think about kind of OpTic's decision here. They kind of basically chalked B at a certain point. They kind of pushed out both sides of A, and I'm curious if you guys think that's a good play. If you think they maybe should have put a little bit more pressure, try to trap you guys.
To be fair, they did try to push B, but they were going slowly. Look, I'm just finessing them. I don't know what they're doing.
We have a nice little running gimmick. Well, I do. That every time I play this map, I just get spawn trapped over and over again. No matter where I'm at, it's just spawn trap central, and it happened again on this map. And
dude, you see people. I saw somebody spawn right in front of Big P on one of the we're gonna watch it back. We're gonna watch it back on a Tuscan Harpoon, but Clay spawned right fucking in front of him. No bullshit. It was mind blown. But listen, you guys end up hitting B off the rip and getting it. OpTic did the same thing before you guys. They hit B off the rip. They blind counter you guys. You guys didn't even have anybody B, but they just lost the fights where you guys didn't. That was the difference.
Yeah, see, it's like the crazy thing is about this round too. Marcus is like, yo, you just wanna go B? Like, we don't do it, but fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've never even done it once in scrims.
Really? You guys have never done that?
Nah, never.
No,
And
never.
Marcus says that. Marcus says that. Joey goes, yo, I'll go fire. Then I said, no, Joey, you're better than me. Go with them maps, innit?
How,
Like, I'll hold
how
this.
have you guys not gone B off a rip? Like, you guys just never
He's
tried
so
it?
He's so detry doing it.
You think so? It worked right here. It worked right here, Joey.
Yeah,
Look.
nah, you gotta throw some weird ones in there, though.
Yeah,
you know?
sometimes you gotta adapt. You gotta adapt a little bit. Yeah.
But the point, like, I laughed at the start of the round though, because Marcus called that. Joey's like, I'll go fire, and I just go, nah, Joey, go with them. You're better than me. I'll hold mid. And he goes, you sure? I was like, yeah, fuck it, bro.
No, it was a good play.
You guys really got the perfect storm here. I mean, they pushed up both sides. You got all 4 kills, and at this point, like, you guys were pushed up, stacked. Nades, all that stuff. Yeah, like this is a heartbreak from OpTic.
I was screaming to Joey like, "I've got you, bro."
I mean, listen.
Streaking in, I thought it was about to kill me, man.
Well, listen, once you guys get the B site though, like you guys have 2 minutes to work with. It's chalked.
Yeah. Nah.
Just take your time and get the kills.
Like,
It's
give up a
just
checkpoint on A.
What was
to
that,
make
Sean?
Sure I think you need to be willing to give up a checkpoint on A or a tick to make sure that like you don't get B just taken from you like that. I mean, even if you give up progress on A, like you just mentioned, if you give up B, it's chalked.
Yeah. So you're saying off the rip, right, Sean? They shouldn't be chalking up B like that. Like there should be somebody
They
at
were
least
so
with eyes.
unprepared. Like they just like were banking on a retake if it happened or something like that, and it's just so much harder to retake that than it is to retake.
I mean, if you look at the scoreboard, really, like,
But they're not the only team doing that, Sean. London did it. You guys did the same thing. You guys didn't even go B, and OpTic did the same thing back to you guys. OpTic just didn't execute when they did it. They didn't get the kills.
They didn't overload any lanes and guarantee.
I mean, we actually wrapped back though to try and take them off.
If you go watch it, like, I'm not trying to give too much info in it, but they just threw their lives. Like, Eddie just solo child me.
Yeah. They threw their lives and they solo child.
Like I said, Tom, there's not much you can do when Joe's dropping 31 and 17.
No, you can't. There isn't. There really isn't.
Yo, that's what I'm saying though, bro. Like, I'm just sitting there, like, yeah, good shit, boys. Yeah, I'll hold this for you. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. Like, you keep going, boys.
It's the Lamar vibes.
Yeah, shit. I mean, if I just see the kill feed just green or blue, that's what I'm doing too.
He was breaking out the beach chair at that point.
And it was
everyone gasses me when I pop a 2. Just feel a bit involved, you know.
End of Berlin trade before you got the second guy.
Yeah, bro.
Fucking. Well, I don't say what, but
hey, you do. Sometimes it's good to get some gas, bro. Listen, gas gets you moving, bro. At least it got me moving.
Nah, you know, you can't fake gas.
That's the first time I heard you gas straight out.
I'd rather hear gas than like, yo, calm down, stop being so loud.
Yo, Prim yesterday.
Yeah, you gotta understand when to say it though, and you know, not to blow my own trumpet or anything like that, but like, I feel like you gotta let people do what they need to do and then call it. Like, you can't just butt in halfway through when everyone's just trying to fucking go hard.
Yeah.
Like,
you
know,
yeah.
You need to let them have it.
Tom, imagine you just turned on somebody, and the next thing you hear is, "Yo, shut up, man!
Yeah,
You're too
shut
loud,
the fuck.
focus."
I'm getting turned on the next fight for sure. Like, that's just how it is.
Is that what it's like, Pat? Like when you team with Clay and Pork, because that's kind of, I guess, what we're talking about. Like, was that kind of?
I was telling them to shut the fuck up.
Well, you guys had a weird dynamic when you teamed.
Yeah, we had a way.
You guys competed with each other, right? When you teamed, like it was kind of like, I'm gonna get more kills than you type shit. You guys competed with each other.
We were the same age, right? We were all kind of like 1 to 2 years away from each other, and that's the weird dynamic for me on like the NYSL team is like Clay and Krim are fucking 30, and then Neptune and Paco are like 19. So it's a weird dynamic for them. They're literally a decade apart, but yeah, I mean we had a different dynamic.
I need to praise Byron on this map, by the way. 3 minutes hill time.
Oh yeah.
You had 3 minutes hill time.
Nah, Byron had Nasty. Had
Byron
3
Nasty.
minutes hill time.
I don't know first names. Byron is first name.
It's my bad, bro. I don't really refer to anyone game attacks.
So Byron.
Yeah.
Thankless job, the dirty one.
Nah, you gotta commend it after he goes, alright, it's alright lads, I'll sit in hill. And we were just laughing, bro.
Speaking of hill time, I saw someone tweet out that because that Bocage ended so low that might have been like the first map in COD history where no one had a minute of hill time.
Nah, bro, yeah, I mean,
honestly, fucking shit. My bad. But fuck.
It's all good.
Oh, I'm just about to say it again. It's just playing OpTic on Bocage. Honestly, every time we scrim them, it always goes down to like time. Never for score.
Yeah, well, that's gonna happen on Bocage when 2 talented teams are playing it. It's just gonna be a fucking mix fest, and honestly, like you'll see people trying to hit routes and play for spawns and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's the same thing. People just keep running at the hill. I don't know.
But again, on the flip
Bocage
side, Tom,
it is fun to watch though. I'm not gonna
on
lie.
the flip side, I mean, dude, we just watched a couple of hills in a row where you guys either won or the rotation or you broke instant. Like, I know the first 4 hills are kind of mixing this map, but you guys did a good job on Berlin, which is the opposite of Bocage, where you get set up and push and like you can hold 30 or 40 seconds, and then once you get the lead, just kind of front run, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I like about our team though, Ben, is like right now it's just like I'll play anyone on any map. You know, I don't care. Give it,
we don't have an auto which is good.
Yeah,
It's really good.
We like playing everyone on any map. It's obviously like team strength or whatever, you know, not trying to give too much away, but like, you know how it is. Tom, having an auto veto just sucks.
Oh yeah,
you know?
dude, I hated it. I used to
bites
cook.
you in the ass as the year goes on. It's whatever in the beginning, but as the year goes on, it bites you in the ass.
People, because teams will take advantage of it. They'll start taking advantage of it.
Stronger maps and whatever like that, but you know, it's good to just, you know, fuck it, I'll square up against them on that. I don't care. Like Florida, bro, they have 3 ARs. Fuck it, my ARs are better than your ARs. Like, we'll square up.
Confidence, man, confidence. That's how it should be. At the end of the day, you should know how to play every map.
I will say this though, you know. Actually, no, I won't. No, I won't.
Yeah, be careful what you say, Trey. Be careful what you say.
I was gonna say something funny that Joey would have laughed at.
You know, be careful.
What was it?
Bro, you're almost
give him a poke.
Kill here.
Oh, dude, Trey, if you would have hit that right there, Trey, that would have been disgusting.
No, I nearly roared because I thought I had the kill, and then it would have just looked fucking stupid.
Yeah, but you bought so much time for your teammates. You already.
You got the trades. And
bro, I said I was screaming like, someone to come help me. Joey was screaming like, yeah, I got you, and then I nearly popped the 3, and I went, oh, no, one shot on the back.
And it was also really good tack usage from Nasty too. He slowed him down with his stuns and his nade and just locking down some of his time.
That's one thing like Dom's been preaching on, and you know, harping on about is just tax, because tax create, you know, assists and you know, it's just free info, especially with a game with no trophies. So
yeah. And I see somebody in the chat, overconfident. Listen, man, every pro player is gonna be confident, bro. That's why they're pro players.
I'm not overconfidence isn't a thing. Like, it's just being
believing in yourself. It's just believing in yourself and thinking you're the best.
I'm just happy with the team I got, and I just know what we can do. Like,
everybody's gonna talk that way. What are you gonna come in here and be like? Honestly, I think we got lucky today. We got lucky.
I want to switch gears for a second while this plays out. Sean, I know in your article you talked about, it was a quote, I think, or you kind of wrote this sort of sense you got from Troy that like he was kind of happy that they sort of lost the series. Is that sort of the vibe? Did I kind of misread sort of the quotes that he gave in your article?
I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to say he's happy that he lost the series, but I definitely think he was happy that it went to 5 maps so that they could figure out something from their gameplay. This is like the best time of the season to be learning things. And I know that Rambo has told me like many times as well that he would way rather be losing games right now than winning a bunch and then losing, you know, closer towards the 4th major or towards champs. And that's when your issues start getting exposed more. You know, if they're still losing, all throughout, you know, these qualifiers and Major 1 and then also into like Major 2, then it starts to get concerning. It's like, all right, well, you guys know your issues and nothing's getting fixed. But this is like one loss, and I feel like, you know, I'm sure the London guys would agree that if you guys lost today, it wouldn't be just like pack it up, season's chalked. So like it's not. You can't.
It's never chalked.
It's never chalked. Well, sometimes it might be chalked. You know, if you're like Seattle Surge a couple years ago and you're like 2-30, like it might be chalked. But I mean, you know.
If I go for a second, I'm really curious this year. So with obviously sort of the five matches, and then you seed, like I wonder how much the 2-3, 3-2 tiebreakers are going to come into play. Like the spread between like seeds like 3 through 8, right? Like can you go 3-2 and somehow suddenly make it in the losers bracket?
I mean, there's gonna be some instances as well because of how good everyone is this year. Like this is the most stacked CDL. Like, you know, not everyone can be everyone, but like every map's going to be close.
I think that's going to happen a lot, Ben, until like later in the season when people are starting to pull away, where like you're expecting them to go like 4-1 minimum in their matches. So I think it'll happen a lot for the next, at least season 1 and possibly season 2 or stage. Sorry.
Well, let's switch gears. We're going to watch kind of the end of this search and destroy. We're going to watch a couple of rounds. Like this is. I think we went on Bocage Hardpoint. I find Bocage S&D kind of entertaining. It's just a lot of different play styles, a lot of weird corners you can play. And I think you guys, Trey, towards the end of this map, I want to kind of walk through it. You guys kind of pulled out some interesting kind of mid-aggressive strats. Was that something that you guys had practiced? You just kind of fly call that?
Yeah, what were those all about? Because I like that. That was actually good.
Bro, you guys hit mid like every round.
No, you just say fuck it, boys, hit mid.
Wait, hold on.
You're speaking Tom's
real
language
quick though, real quick.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was OpTic at though? Like they weren't even watching that
They
bottom
weren't.
door.
These are the
Like,
moments I'm talking about. It's just like I don't really know what the goal was there. It's like there wasn't a plan.
So if we do something stupid on the map, just know it's called the J Giz.
The J Gaze.
yeah, but
listen,
you did it multiple rounds, and they just weren't they weren't aware of it.
I think we went 5-4 down in it, and they were just relying on one guy getting info for them. You see it one round, shots, he runs down mid. Go free, just like work day, like around there.
Yeah.
I literally just said, bro, square up with them. I literally come mid, it's 5-4, we've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Come down mid, bro. Fucking use our gun skill against theirs, bro.
Listen, if you were on Tom's team and you told him that, bro, Tom's falling you out.
Gizmo, the way you're talking right now is getting me bricked up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Bro, it's the fucking
bro,
mentality,
what
bro.
is
You're
this?
gonna
Where
win the round
are
or lose
they?
the round.
No,
bro.
I like that because as long as you do it, as long as you're confident, and you're decisive, and you do it together, like look, you guys are holding each other's balls, right?
Where the fuck
It's
are
good
they,
stuff.
bro?
One's top barn, two were like playing so passive, they're getting zero information.
Yeah, wait, but what are they watching? They're both watching back tank push out. Like the round just started. You can't even be back tank.
This is hilarious at the start of the round too. I was like,
I like the stun to open a door too, Trey. I like that.
That weren't me.
Well, I was just whoever fucking did that. That was clean.
But it's just
Yo, Tom, like just if you back it up 5 seconds or 10 seconds, bro. Like, look where I am, bro. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing.
Oh, wind. Does it show the wind?
Yeah, probably.
You're all the way to spawn, just holding L trigger,
when I say to you, I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. I don't. I just like, I'm down.
You're chilling side barn, and all three of their team is outside A, and are now.
No, I saw 3 here, bro. I shat myself. I was like, fucking coming in.
Yeah, and you got one, and he used the tax and got another one.
I'm saying though, what kind of setup was this?
Yeah, I was marveling when I seen that. I can't lie.
I don't know. Maybe they were just playing for. They probably just listen. At the end of the day, they might be trying to go for a blind counter or something.
I mean,
like
what
stack
kind
A.
of line counter is that?
Well, a lot of people play A, pal. A lot of people go A.
Yeah,
but
they weren't watching anything. Yeah, they're just sitting outside their steps, like just staring at the outside of the map.
That's a good point. I don't know what they were looking at.
They had a strat like earlier in the game where they did something similar to that. They hit like the low right and tried to flank the A bomb.
All right, well, they gotta chalk that strat up, bro.
They gotta chalk that one.
Throw that one
Yo,
away,
cross
bro.
it out in a notebook.
It was literally this round where I was like, yo, you wanna do our said strat? And then Joey goes,
Look, you did it right again.
Joey goes, nah. What do you want? I was like, Joey, do whatever you want to do, bro.
I was
like,
finessing him. I was fucking
Yeah,
one
you
shot.
were. You were finessing right
You the one
there.
that chowed Seth right here, bro. He had no idea you were gonna chow him.
That was a good play. But then you ends up going 5-5. We end up going to around 11. Obviously, it's the reverse sweep. It always got to go to around 11, right? Always. I don't know what it is, but it always does.
I lost 4 in the round 11.
Why? Why'd you lose 4? What happened?
Bro, if you watch this round, I go, yo, Byron, Dashy sniping dirt. I can't watch it. Like, I've not got you dirt whatsoever. 5 seconds later, Byron goes, he's climbed up a B-hop from dirt.
Yeah.
Stream back at all, Trey. Like, actually, how that went down.
You haven't watched it back yet, Trey? You haven't watched it back?
I haven't watched anything.
This situation right here.
This is tough right here. This is so tough.
I literally go, yo, Byron, I've not got you dirt. As soon as I give it up, he goes, who flanked me dirt?
Oh.
I was
That's
like,
tough.
fuck, bro.
But then OpTic,
you salvage it.
OpTic made an interesting decision here, right? This kind of like, you see this a lot more in CS than you do in like COD, right? You get the 4v3 backup and just kind of wait to see if there's aggression. They make mistakes, but you guys kind of don't bite.
I don't even care about that. I like the rap. I think the rap was the right play.
Me too.
But what the fuck was Dashy doing when they rapped? You gotta give it a second to play out. But Dashy just goes and sits in a corner with a pistol when he's got a sniper.
I think it's because I flanked one of the rounds.
No, but why not? Okay, he raps back with his team.
They
but why
trolled
not?
post plan.
Yeah, like why does he get mid map with a pistol instead of going like back up the field and holding this window with a sniper? Do something.
No, the whole post plant was a troll. The whole post plant.
If you stretch plant that bomb like with a sniper and you're all the way back there, like. I mean, you're just.
I just.
Like said,
why are they stacked on the side like this, though?
How good is that pistol?
It's very good.
It's good as fuck.
It's good enough to sit mid map like this.
It's not that good.
The whole mid map alone.
Yeah, he's probably
they've milked there. Nah, they've milked there. They had first blood. Like, see what I'm doing here. Yeah, like a normal play. You plant bomb, you play top barn, but they've all just
They sat there. Yeah, you play top barn, you play field, and you just get eyes on bomb, and you spread out. You're making it easy. Yeah. Honestly, they made it so easy for you guys because
they didn't need to all be there.
Yeah, they don't. They're literally just cornering themselves in the site.
Back barn, holding the flank.
Here's the part that confuses me. Is they came from field. So like, unless one of you guys repinch them, like
that's what I'm saying. They wrapped it.
They wrapped it. They could have then pushed field out. They would insta won this round. Like,
yeah, I can't lie. I'm out the player, boys. I was bricking it a bit.
This is another fuck it like mindset. Like I got it's a 3v4-5-5. Like I got nothing to lose in. Like fucking.
No, you don't. I mean, at this point, yeah, when you're down a man and you have nothing to lose, that's where you just go rogue and try and make a play.
The thing is, people always joke that people get nervous against OpTic, and you guys did like the complete opposite, right? You're just like, screw. Like we kind of have our team confidence. We're gonna execute those plays instead of holding corners.
There's not a single nervous player or scared player on our team, bro. Like, and I'll say this with confidence. Yeah, Joey might be one of the most unscared person I've ever played with.
Yeah,
I gotta know what their comms were like after that, because the wrap I think was 100% the right play. That was the right move to make. Wrap A and work the bomb.
Listen,
but like,
Pat, what they did was fine. What they did was fine, Pat. Besides for after the fact that when they planted, they just sat in the site. They just sat in the site.
I want to pivot to a second and ask Sean a question, because I'm seeing a bit of chatter in the chat about does OpTic have a leader? Like, Sean, when you talk to the team and the coach, like, do they identify someone they say is sort of like the in-game leaders for the emotional center of the team?
Cinder told me that that's like kind of an issue similar to what it was last year, at least for this like very moment. That there's not, that guy who's just like clearly leading. I could very much see it being Ender. I think like on paper you could also see it being Seth, just purely off of years and hours put in. But Ender likes to be the guy that talks a lot. I know that Shotzi has struggled in the past with just like small talk, and that's something he improved on from year 1 to year 2. But when I look at this team, it's either Ender or Seth, and I would probably lead towards Ender, but I'm not sure that they're at that point just yet where someone is just like clearly the leader. Also, side point, I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but Shotzi missing that window jump was brutal.
Oh yeah, because when he missed a jump, he got blooded.
Round was over. Was over.
My personal opinion, based on the IGL stuff, is it can only be Ender. I don't see a world where it's any of the other three. And if Ender is fully comfortable in that, because I do think Ender has really good comms, but I don't know if he's fully comfortable in the leader kind of situation. But yeah, I think he's the only one on this roster that it can be.
Well, I noticed Pat, like last year when they had that really good run in Major 4, like in all those series when they were frying, especially on those controls and the first hard points when they were going up like early in those series, like Ender was very vocal. He's calling out. He's play calling. Like I see him being that guy. Like you don't need like a traditional You don't need like a traditional IGL to do everything. You just need someone to kind of make sure that people are kind of staying on beat, staying on rhythm. And I wonder if, like to your point, Pat, kind of earlier in this breakdown, it like they went up 2-0 and they kind of took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit, shifted down a gear, and they weren't able to kind of get that killer instinct and close this out.
Yep. And look at the boys getting all hyped up after the big win.
Yeah, and I think something that's important too, Ben, based on what you just said, is being able to do that consistently, right? Like it's easy to do that as well when you're winning, right? When it's going right, but as soon as you lose a map, like getting back on track and not letting up, like that's something it's hard to do. It's hard to stay consistent with. So we'll see how that kind of transpires as the year goes on. But
by the way, can I make a PSA? Like CDL players, if you're watching this, please do not leave the lobby like before the game ends. Like
because you can't see the scoreboard. Yeah, you can't see the scoreboard. And you leave,
and now we can't see the shots. And it's a whole to do when you do this. So please don't. Thank you.
Yo, Joey, I'm in.
Yeah.
What you left the game, Trey? You left the game?
I fucking will next time I get spawn trapped.
Ben's out of Trey's out of here next time he loses. He's out.
We have an zero feed that has the scoreboard the whole time, but like we want to show it at the end of the game, and like if you dip, then
bro, kick off classic, bro. I got spawn trapped. Everyone's saying, yo, who's London sub, bro?
Wait, who rage quit though? Who dipped out?
Ender.
Oh, Ender left? Oh, yeah, I can see Ender doing that. Just fucking losing full. Just out of there. I could definitely see that. Shout out to the desk as well. Shout out to Nameless, Veli, and Alleycat. They did a great job. They were doing a fantastic job on the desk. I know Nameless is in the chat right now, so keep it up, boss. Even though Hector, what was Hex's tweet all about?
I think they were trolling.
Were they trolling?
Because Ant, I believe you didn't pick OpTic to win this series, correct? You picked London, I think, and that's what that was about.
Oh, man.
I took my headset off at that point. I was eating
we love it. And Nameless, great guy.
Yeah, no, we love Nameless. We love Nameless over here. Sometimes, sometimes Ant be pissing me off, but what are you gonna do? I'm just busting his balls.
Well, no, listen. Speaking of Ant pissing me off, I gotta tell a story.
No, story time. Okay, let's hear it.
So look, we had a couple of big snowstorms in Columbus this year, and we had one snowstorm Wednesday, Thursday. That was pretty bad. And so we're doing the show on Friday, right? Snow is kind of mostly falling, but the roads are kind of a little tricky. And Ant like texts the group. He's like, "Hey, I'm having trouble like getting out my neighborhood." So like I bet. So one of my coworkers lets me borrow his Jeep. I like moved a few meetings, and so I drove out to Ant's house. I get to the house. You know what car Ant has? The exact same car, the car that I drove to pick him up in. So he could have gotten out of his car and gotten out of his neighborhood. I'm just saying.
Dude, Ben, play the next series, Ben.
Bro, Ben loves a story.
He loves story time.
It's a good story, man.
It is a good story, man. We appreciate you sharing. Thank you for sharing. I was just texting Asim because I was going to see if he wanted to come on the show when we get to the series.
He does want to come on. He's just eating food, I think.
Oh, he's eating food? Okay.
But listen, guys, thanks for coming on. If you want to stick around, feel free. But we're going to hop
it's
over
up to you guys. If you guys want to dip out.
I'll watch from the sidelines, and I know Joey probably wants to too. So
yeah, man.
I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, no problem, Sean. Thank you so much for joining up, man. We'll get you on again too if you want to. We'd love to have you on. And same with you, Trey, and you too, Joey. Whenever you guys want to come on after a big win or whatever, just to come kick it. Trey's always kicking in here, right, Trey? You're always vibing with us.
It's like a second home.
Let's get it, Trey. You're always kicking it. It's what I'm talking about. Good, congrats, man. Congrats on a big win today, guys, and keep it up, man. Thanks for coming on.
Have
and
a good night. Have a good rest of the stream.
Yes, sir. Good night, guys. Good night.
Peace.
Later.
From your channel. User disconnected from your channel. User disconnected from.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Seattle Ultra. Unfortunately, it's one of those series where we showed Vito's after map one. So sorry all for the spoilers. Was an interesting map set. Like these two teams had obviously played each other at Kickoff Classic, and I know they talked about it on broadcast. And Pat, I'm curious what you think. Like that Toronto and the Seattle had played on a Berlin Hardpoint. It was one side and ended up in the series again. Curious what your thoughts on that was.
I mean, I think Seattle was just confident, but at the same time, I mean, Toronto looked amazing to start on that Berlin Hardpoint again. But I think Toronto didn't want to give it away when we had them on the flank a couple episodes ago. I think that is for sure their best hardpoint map. The one they look most comfortable on, had the most teamwork on it. So overall, though, I think this is a map set that kind of suits both teams. I think they both kind of got a good map set for each of them, and this is kind of just gonna be a slugfest.
Yeah, Seattle came out fucking swinging. By the way,
dude.
And let me just say something. Civ is different.
Yeah,
Civ is different, bro.
He actually might be cheating. No bullshit.
No, he's not cheating.
He's not cheating. He just got like.
Tom and I've been on the land and we watched this guy fry.
Yeah, I've stood behind this guy. Well, I've watched this guy live. This guy's different, bro, for sure.
Clearly, he has to be like, if we're doing player of the stage right now, like he's clearly the clubhouse favorite. Seattle wins.
100%.
He's probably the best player in the game right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I personally think he's the best in the game.
Favorite. Yeah, I think
Dante's
it's a
one of
clear
those
cut.
players like he really took off like at the beginning of the CDL, right? When he was on that Western team or whatever team they were on. I don't remember the team name, but it was a team with Tom, and like he was frying back then. And like I think the only thing holding him back from getting a look at a pro team last year was just the questions about the attitude and some of the other kind of off
think it was just that. I think the fact that he was on FaZe.
No, he was available for pickup after that first season. I just think people were concerned about the other stuff.
But Ben, there's a big difference between being available to be bought out off a current team and being like just a free agent. I
believe he was a free agent kind of in between the Cold War, the Modern Warfare and Cold War year. Like he could have been picked up.
Oh yeah, before the season, yeah.
And I know that there were teams that inquired last year, but I don't think anyone really gave a full offer. I just know the chatter on a lot of other teams was like, well, this kid can definitely shoot back, but as like a teammate, we don't know if he's got all the pieces and there are a couple of flags. But teaming with Lamar, and you could talk about it, Tom. I think it's a good fit. Like he's teaching him that discipline to become a really good all-star pro.
The perfect teammate for Dante right now is Lamar. It's the perfect fucking teammate. It's exactly what he needed. And I hated the whole argument, the whole attitude thing beforehand. I mean, dude, he was young, man. I mean, he's young. Like, he's young.
I think growing up and maturing is the best thing.
And the thing is, it's just like
time.
Right. And you give him the chance and you have a sit down with him. And you said, Astro had a sit down with me. When I signed to Envy, he sat me down on the couch and ranted to me for 30 minutes. He told me I need to calm the fuck down.
Is this AW?
Yeah, AW. He sat me on the couch. He said, "Yo, you need to calm the fuck down." I was going at it with Krim on Twitter and this and that, and he yelled at me. He was screaming at me on the couch, Mr. Mike Castro. I don't know if he remembers. He might not remember. I don't know. But I was sitting there and I was like, I feel like that day really changed me. Like I feel like from that moment, I like really took into account what he was saying, and I feel like Sib just needed that. He needed some guidance. Bro, Sid was just a normal kid. He didn't know anything about the scene. He's just playing COD, just having a good time. And he had a bad attitude problem. And listen, I'm not defending some of the stuff that Sib's done because obviously he's gone a little rogue. But, when I was 18, I was doing the same shit.
I think something big to consider, too, is at the time, he didn't understand the scale, right, of, like, what it could actually mean for him, his life, his career. Kind of, when you just said he was just a kid playing COD, right? Like you have a different mentality when you're just a kid who's playing a video game versus like a kid who's like, wow, I can make something of this. So
yeah,
I think when he kind of realized that and saw that opportunity, kind of, something would just automatically click, and he'd want to grow, he'd want to mature, and kind of be able to showcase the fact that he's as talented as he is.
Yeah, and somebody even said in chat, Tom is gassing this old persona of his being an asshole, and the thing is like it's not even being an asshole. It's about being emotional. Like when I was just younger, I was just super emotional, and Dante was like the same way. Like you react to things, and you don't take any shit from anybody, and you might say things that after the fact you might regret because people are busting your balls, and that's just how it goes. But yeah, I think he's came a long way, and the interviews show that as well. Like when he's talking in the interviews and stuff, he's you could tell that he's definitely super focused, and he's got his priorities straight. It's a good play out of good stuff out of Mr. Dante, who I also think is going to be Rookie of the Year, in my personal opinion. I don't know.
He's definitely on the inside track there. I mean, he's got some competition. Look at that London team. Like, we have 7 rookies.
Hold on. He's got competition, but at the level at what he's playing at and the impact he has on his specific team, I think it's like,
listen,
dude, it's too early. It's obviously too early to call. But, bro, I feel like he's got it in the bag.
Listen,
Like
Dante's good. He's not going to get Tini dropping a 1.4 in series. I guess maybe he could, but, historically, it's not always been the case.
I don't think it's about consistently dropping a 1.4. I think it's about being as just consistent as he is. Like, you don't need to be a 1.4 player, but to be as consistent. I actually haven't seen him have a bad map. Like
well, it's his play style too. He does a great job playing his life, and his awareness is good. He's that role. He's that role. You know, he reminds me of a little bit Pharaoh. He reminds me of R.I.P. Pharaoh. We love you, kid, but he reminds me of.
I can see that comparison. Yeah,
a little bit.
It's that dynamic flex player. Like it's a lot like MC's a similar vein we've seen a lot from Cammy. It's like, bro, it's such a premium on these teams to have someone that can be your third sub and third AR and be a takeover guy in that role. Like that's so key. And especially on Seattle team, bro, everybody but Lamar in that team could run a sub in an AR. Just think about it.
And speaking of Lamar, forget about the young talent. This motherfucker's popping off too, popping pieces and big rotational kills. And I'm sure he's also getting these guys on the right track. I mean, Lamar's been beaming. He's been playing. This is like some of the best COD I've seen Lamar play. Like he's looking really good.
I think that just comes down to a confidence thing, right? I feel like Lamar's kind of a confidence player at the same time, right? Like you want to be in the right environment. I think being in the right environment helps Lamar a lot. I think that's why he succeeded so much on TK.
Yeah.
But just being in the right environment, I think it's just going to help him excel and be able to showcase his talent.
Yep.
I agree. Said though, his team does get 1v2 clutch on here. Pretty sick one from Insight. We haven't talked a lot about this season.
How are you gonna say that? We're like gassing someone up, and you're like, by the way, they do get.
I want to talk about the play that we're watching.
They got shit on here. They got fucking bopped over here. Look
Lamar
at that.
Get shit on, but his 2 teammates definitely played a little bit too many ones. But it was actually a really, really good chow from Insight. And then a really kind of odd. The way this 1v1 plays out here with this chow and tunnel is like kind of odd.
Yeah, and then again, it was Dante who was left in the 1v1, and he was able to take care of bases. Honestly, he was winning every single fight for 3 maps. Like they couldn't contain him.
Yeah, they couldn't do anything. And then Seattle basically just kind of, cruise controlled this map, right? I think they won.
Yeah, Seattle cruise controlled. Yeah, Seattle cruise right through this. And that's where things got, bro. I couldn't believe that Toronto was bringing it back. I couldn't believe they were bringing it back like that. I thought we were going to see another reverse sweep, but with the way Seattle came out, I thought Toronto was done. I thought they were just chalked up. But it just shows you the kind of mental that Toronto has. That you can never count Toronto out ever. I feel like they're always gonna push you to that final map, or always push you to the edge, right? Like they're always just hanging on by a string. They're just hard. They're annoying to play against. So hats off to Toronto for making it a hell of a series. But then we get into the Gava 2 control. And this is when I was surprised to see Seattle lose. I felt like this is their map. I felt like this is Seattle's map. I thought they were going to close it out 3-0, but Toronto did a good job on the offense. On winning offense.
Well, Toronto went up 2-0. They won an offense, and then suddenly Seattle won an offense, and then won a defense, and this went to a round 5. It was definitely like most of the Gavin 2s we've watched recently have just been defense. Then we get to round 5, where this one was like definitely offense, but it was a swing after an 0-2 comeback from Seattle.
We've been seeing some offensive wins. Some. I mean, it's mostly defense.
It's mostly kills too, though.
Yeah, it's mostly kills. Yeah, it mostly comes down to kills. You rarely see people just cap both points. And if they do cap the point, it's because the other team has no lives and they're like struggling.
Let me ask you guys a question, because this is sort of a topic I had. I know Smoke's kind of GA right now with the one way, but do you think like some of his control maps might play a little better if you can have a Smoke? I know there's sort of randomness with that, but I was curious.
I think all controls would play better than Smoke, but I don't think Smokes can be allowed if they're broken. But yeah, but overall, if Smokes get fixed, I think control just gets better.
I don't know.
But you could also say the same about trophies. Like trophies would also help control.
They're not they're unrealistic. They're not realistic.
Yeah.
Why are they gonna put trophies in there?
But dude, I think the Smokes getting fixed is probably an unrealistic outcome too.
The Smokes are not gonna get fixed, in my opinion. I don't see them getting fixed. I also feel like Smokes, like, do they cover a lot of the area? Like the Smokes currently in the game, do they cover a lot, or they
they fixed the Smoke? It was either this game or last game.
It's not a lot, but
definitely more opaque.
I feel like they don't cover. I feel like it doesn't cover. Like for instance, if you want like a smoke out across or something, like
they're not CS smokes, man. Like they're not.
Yeah, they're almost like half transparent. I don't understand why that logic is like that.
No, they made them a little bit better in this game. They're a little bit more opaque, but just the whole situation with the one ways on the edges just makes it really hard to just toss it on yourself. It's not like...
Yeah, but I don't understand the logic behind, like, why not just make it a full smoke? If you go inside of it, you can't see shit, and you can't see in it or out of it on either side. Like, it's just a block of area, and it blooms out. So it's smart. It starts small and then blooms up and then and fades.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Listen, are we going to see any changes? Like, when's the next update? Do we know?
That's probably the best question.
Not sure.
Like when I wonder when the next update's gonna be, because
I imagine rank play, right? It's got to be rank play would be the next.
So
update,
what? That's Valentine's Day, right? Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So that's the next actual big game update. But what will that include is probably a question in itself.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm curious because I saw Sledgehammer Games responding to some people on socials, which is interesting. I was like, okay. They're invested into this a little bit. Like, if they're responding to people, then they're definitely seeing all this stuff, and they're definitely getting involved on trying to fix it, which is a good thing. And this is
but it's always the question, like, if community managers are doing a good job, but like, what's the priority level at the studio for like the issues?
That's always the burning question.
Yeah. Like community managers always for all studios do a decent job, but what's actually being done at the studios.
I really do like, though, like, I know a couple of devs have done this recently with the Trello boards. Like, that's more like less community management, more like developer visibility. Like, we're looking at a bug, we're investigating, we found a fix, and we're going to roll out in this update, right? So like the community just kind of gets more expectation. We'd love to see continued path of transparency because we're all invested, both the developers and the players, in success of these games. So
hats off to Toronto for clutching up on the defense.
This map 4 was a smoke show, Tom.
This was a fucking smoke show. Yeah, the first couple hills are always a little bit mixy here or there, but after a few rotations, Toronto just
I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing this get vetoed in all of Toronto's series upcoming.
You think so? This map, Berlin?
Yeah.
Really? I feel like they could be really good at this map.
Probably a dust.
No.
I'm team. Like
I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if I see all other teams vetoing it against the Ultra.
Oh! I thought you were saying I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto started vetoing it.
No, yeah. Like I think people are gonna say like, oh, this is Ultra's best map. Yeah. Like, let's get it out.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna be good on every map.
Yeah, but I do think this is their best. It's like they're clear cut. They just like they got.
You know what it is too? It just fits their play styles. They have bands playing rowdy. Kleenex is hitting all these little lanes in the middle of the map, getting cracked, and then you just have 2 AR players that just kill whore and just hold all the lanes. It's hard. It's hard to play against, and it's annoying.
This is a swing moment right here.
This is a real good situation too, by the way. If you're holding time from the front and they're still spawning in the back. Because you're getting, like, look at this, Ben. Like, they're still getting to, like, here they're getting 20, 30 seconds.
Oh, and Vance is doing that,
Well, it basically starts here. Vance gets his 3-piece, and then they pin Seattle kind of in the back here is like worst case scenario for Seattle, right? You get most of this time, but you're getting stuck back here and you can't rotate. And then Toronto just chain a couple of hills and blow this game out at this point.
I feel like Seattle was lazy here though. Like they finally do it here with number 4, but why didn't they wrap fire first? Like why didn't the first guy wrap fire when you had the window?
You kind of shortcutted to go back to
yeah, you're just hitting the window and like if the first guy would have hit fire, I think they insta break that almost.
The first player should take the route off spawn. Just fucking do it. Just hit it real quick, push that out, and then the guys can just fill in as they come off, you know? That'll probably be the best play. They get back in to get some scrap, but that's what I'm saying. Toronto gets that scrap time to get like 20 seconds, and then they also have rotation to next. So it's just a good little chain.
I'm telling you, the game is over at this point, bro. It's 58 to 118. They're down 50 already. Like it is basically chalk from this point. Look how many points they don't get.
Yeah, bro, when you get like an 80-point lead, a 70, 80-point lead, 80 to 100 points.
Hills are so mixy.
Because they're so mixy, it's such a good lead to have because you can just either keep hitting scraps or you could just stay ahead of the game and rotate and just keep locking down hills.
So it's almost like a good start is like everything, right? Like that's kind of what
we saw with the Paris FaZe series.
Including too, like a good start kind of just dictates what's going to happen in the map.
Yeah, that's why things like breakoffs are going to be super important. Like, listen, it might be one death, but that breakoff might be huge, right? Like
you know what I haven't seen a lot of that we saw a lot in Cold War is like 60-0 starts. Like I haven't seen like hardly any of those. Like we've seen starts.
Yeah, because the hills are so mixy, right? Like people are splitting time. But we've seen a couple times though. I've seen some people get off to a really clean start. Maybe not 60-0, but like 50-0. You know, like definitely get a good start. But it's not easy to do that. It's just not easy to do that, especially on fucking boat cage, you know? And then this hill is kind of fugazi. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like this hill, like the laydown, how it's like kind of like a laydown spot. And then it's kind of mixy a little bit.
Yeah, I do think this hill could be moved. I don't know where, but I do think it could be moved.
It's pretty much just sniper tower control, right? You just get the sniper tower, and you just want the team spawning front, and then once they're spawning out front, you can just play corners, right?
If you push up in their train station, you're just finessing. Like,
yeah. And you always see people playing corners outside that train station, just trying to be annoying and trying to play creddy spots, and meanwhile you can't get anybody out of the hill because they're just laying down. You just got to get pushed up and throw your attacks, but. If people are pushing out those cuts on that hill, it's so annoying. You just keep coming off spawn. You have to deal with somebody in your face already. You know?
We hit a 1.5 going into game 5 with an 80% non-traded. It's absurd.
What was it? 80%?
Yeah.
Jeez.
78.
Jesus
Christ. This is a crazy map. There's a lot of plays and we can't watch all of them, guys, so I'm sorry. So I'm going to kind of skip around because I really want to watch the end of this map. It starts out in crazy fashion, by the way. There's a really sick clutch from Kleenex to start this map out, but I think really the story of this map is just that round 11, and once again, Lamar, I don't know what happens in these game 5 round 11. This guy's got the ice.
Hold on.
He does got the ice.
To be fair, that should not have happened. Like Lamar made the best play. He made the only play I think he had based on the situation. But yeah, Toronto just threw that. I don't understand why. I think it was Bance. He came out of post and wrapped like back to mid instead of just going and checking bomb. Like it was the only play to check bomb.
But you know what else shouldn't have happened, Pat? That 3-piece that Lamar got against OpTic and Cole. Remember that? Shouldn't have happened. But Lamar just makes it happen.
Bro, I don't know
Lamar just makes it happen.
Too, bro, but something is just going his way in those round
I remember Lamar had a couple of crazy late game SND clutches on Orange Force back in World War II, right? Like when they went on a TK run. Like he's just really good in these clutch situations, just playing the percentage play and executing it. Like
because he's Mr. Fundamental. At the end of the day, he's gonna make the right play. It's just what Lamar does, you know.
But at least in that opposite situation, like that was just an unlucky lineup. But here, I think was just an avoidable mistake, right? Like they just could have checked bomb, and it would have been GG.
So I'm gonna skip around. I'm gonna skip to round 6. We saw this a lot in a couple of different rounds on this map. I think it's a little bit later in this round. Hold up.
These guys were so turned, and Seattle stayed composed, man. They were down 1-4.
That's what
it was looking.
I felt like
looking slow.
When they went up 4-1, I was like, yeah, Toronto's the better team. Like I was just like, yeah, this kind of solidifies the prediction. Like these guys, they went down 2-0 and they just bring it back. So they're snowballing game 5, but yeah, no, Seattle just turned up out of nowhere and brought it back.
Yeah.
I really liked what Seattle did here a lot in the beginning of this map. If you look at number 3, Mac, like they're letting Mac basically get all the way up into B bomb site. And he hit this long route a couple of times, and it's a really good neutralizer to like if teams get in that post.
We've seen this,
right?
Pat. We've seen this.
Yeah.
We saw this yesterday. I forget who did it. But people constantly push through this lane of the map, and they're always getting around the back because there's so many gaps. If you actually hit your shimmies and you get the information that you need, you'll find the gaps on a map. That's what makes a good player a good player.
Gets picked off a bomb, and Lamar has to stay alive because Kleenex is challenging here too, and it opens up this opportunity here for Mac to get that pick with number 6. Cammy kind of out of the play in the middle of the map.
And Lamar goes big here these next couple rounds. Lamar went big this round. He gets the guy off the bomb, makes the calls, buys time for Mac, and then he gets another kill here at the end, pops a big 2-piece. And then there was another round where he was mid-map, and 2 guys pushed him when they were trying to break the bomb, and he pieced him up. Like, Lamar was bringing him back into this one. He was doing everything he could. Were you gonna say something, Pat? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just gonna say I bet Bance doesn't plant like that again, where his legs exposed.
Well, have you guys noticed that people keep getting shot off that bomb? I don't know what it is.
It's always an early game thing. People sort of figure out the right stretch.
Right
there,
there, boom.
Lamar right
there.
Boom.
They don't show it, but you see it on the minimap unfolding.
Who did he kill? The second guy must have been top building, right? 1. No, he kills number 6.
Number 6. It was Cammy, and it was a good play too. You can see Lamar kind of ego chat a little bit. It was a good play out of him. And then after that, Dante was able to pick up his first kill, and this was the only map where he started off like really slow and couldn't get anything going.
So this ending is crazy. So Seattle gets up and wins these next 2 rounds. They go up 5-4, and then they blow the 10th round, right? Remember correctly? Yeah. They get 2v4'd this round.
Yeah, what happened here? See, this was bad right here. This was really bad. I don't know what the heck happened to Toronto in this round.
A lot of like crazy shit happened. So number 5 gets a really weird timing here.
Number 5's going rogue with the bomb. Like, he's going super rogue.
Wait, who is that? Who's that?
Number 5 is Bance. He's going rogue with the bomb.
It gets crazier, right? So these guys make this play, and then they both die. And somehow Seattle loses the round in this situation.
Or not Toronto. Yeah. Seattle trolled this. They trolled this.
So they got a minute left, and Toronto is basically nowhere near any player on Seattle.
Well, let it play out
across the map.
So yeah, this.
So it was basically a trade. It basically was a 3v2. Like Pred got traded pretty quick.
Yeah, Pred was traded.
I mean, I think in this situation, like you obviously don't want to. I feel like maybe Dante kind of in this 2v3 sort of is playing a situation where he's not really going to get traded, right? Number 3's on bomb. Lamar's all the way in the back.
I mean, none of them are at a point in a position here, Ben, to get to be traded. They're all singled out. Yeah, they're just all singled out.
You know the way they're playing? They're playing like they have no idea bomb's down. I wonder if they knew.
Where
I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew. There's no way they knew. There's no way they knew, right? There's no way. It's not like anybody's checking this shit. Like, he dies behind the wall. You see that? Like, there's no way they saw that.
No. Number 4, Pred.
No, it's on the steps.
Unless it's around the wall and he can't see it.
Is it on the top of the stairs?
Yeah, it's on the top of the steps.
Yeah, but it might be. He might have died like on the corner. I see.
He picked it up. He picked it up, but yeah, I don't know. And then Pred gets instant trade, so maybe Pred just didn't call it out when he died. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but look at their setup. Like, you got to think, if you know you have bomb down, like Sib advances and Mac is still playing pretty aggressive in A. Like, they could literally just back up and turtle and
they don't have to do it. Yeah, they just play fire. Just buddy up corners and fire and just hold your lanes. That's all they really need to do. But I don't think they knew it was down, and he didn't even pick it up there. It was at the top of the steps, but nobody really had eyes on it. And then Ultra did a good job. Lamar almost died right there, but Ultra did a really good job clutching this up. It was Cammy who ended up picking Sid mid-map because he was singled out, and then they just...
Well, Cammy got Mac too, so Cammy just basically clutched
He made plays. Cammy made plays. He's doing Cammy things. And then we went to around 11, and I was like, dude, like, how does this always happen? Every time there's a reverse sweep, there's a round 11. Every single time. I don't know what it is. It just happens. It's like how there's always comebacks when it's 3-5 at S&D.
And I love this play call from Toronto. What a good play.
Right up the middle of the map.
They spot 3 crossing. They say, screw it, just head middle because, Mac's going to play this tank spot. It's a pretty common spot. And
yeah.
Get yourself into a 4v3.
But they trolled it, though.
Somehow they trolled us, yeah.
They trolled it. The streak comes down from Lamar, so he gets the information. He knows that they're in fire right now.
Yeah.
They know that they're in fire right now. So at this point, Toronto kind of traps himself. It was a good play to get the kill, but the streak kept them in. The streak.
Like, in retrospect, Tom, they probably could have yeeted out middle. I know number 1's kind of like watching this from the window, but like they could have backed up here to B-bomb. Like, they had B-bomb for free.
I'm surprised they didn't just keep going. I mean, you already got one. Just keep going. You just keep going straight.
Wait. Hold on. Back that up. Cammy went rogue. He literally ran out of fire down the street to the spawn. Look at this. All right, glide bomb misses. Cammy's in fire right now. Number 6.
He did go rogue. He went rogue.
He runs out the street and just goes straight down and chows Lamar.
Yeah. He went rogue. And the thing is if he's gonna go rogue, they all gotta go rogue. If they're not gonna go rogue, they gotta be on the same page.
If he's making that play, they should all be flying out of fire.
Like, and I don't know if that's a communication thing. I think the streak threw him off. I think the strat might have been to hit that lane. They hit that line of sight, and the streak came in, and they kind of turtled and fired a little bit, and then they felt trapped, and they didn't want to go anywhere. I think it kind of threw them off a little bit. I could be wrong. It's almost like they didn't know Lamar had the streak, or maybe that's why they hit it. Maybe that's why they hit it like that.
Ben said in the chat that they thought Mac had a streak.
Interesting.
But either way, I mean, it comes down to a 2v2 here, and yeah, I think like right here, if Vance just wraps and checks bomb, it's GG.
Yeah.
He's so worried about Dante. It's a very odd like post.
But even if he gets shot in his back, he's getting this kill.
They get the bomb down and like this is their setup. It is a bit of an odd one.
It's odd. It's definitely odd.
Clearix is not in a position to like.
No,
you know what I mean that plants a bomb.
I don't think Ben thinks anybody's even near that bomb site.
Well, the thing is,
anybody's there.
Lamar is the one who killed Cammy back docks area. Like he was in the back of the spawn. Yeah. And obviously, I think it's.
He sees him cross.
No, he doesn't see him cross. But Kleenex is like on the street, so he knows that Lamar's gone. So like logically, you got to think that he either pushed up fucking docks or he was somewhere mid map.
Wait, no, Lamar saw him cross right there. I'm pretty sure
no,
when he hit the site.
No one knew Lamar was there.
Nobody knew Lamar was there. Yeah.
Ben's saying in chat that he thinks that like watching back that they just felt like this was a comms breakdown on their end. Like if they had clear comms, like.
Well, I think this whole round was right. Like they thought Mac had a streak. They made the godlike play. They made a risky mid map get a pick play.
I like it too. I like the play call.
That should have sealed the deal. But yeah, I think they just miscommunicated on what they wanted to do after the fact, and then miscommunicated in the clutch.
Yeah, so it is miscommunication.
To me, this was a Toronto win, but Seattle just happened to clutch up.
Yeah, and what a fucking series, by the way. I mean, guys,
that was a good one.
Guys, Call of Duty has been really exciting the last few days. I'm not gonna lie. Like the series have been super fucking entertaining. There's been a lot of storylines, and speaking of storylines, heading into the next series, we got Asum, Mr. Benji's team, and I don't know if you guys saw Asum's tweet, but I'm gonna pull it up for you guys real quick. Check this out for the 1 second. Mr. Asum himself, ladies and gentlemen, check it out. Tweeting the "Hey slut blinders, you dropped something." Quote tweeting.
Listen, you know Ace has been sitting on that tweet.
That's been a draft for sure.
He's definitely been sitting on that tweet.
Tom and I were joking, like, bro, if you go back to the stream for a second, like, it's serious when Ace is breaking out the towel.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
He means business when he's got the towel out.
When Asum brings out the towel, forget about it. Yeah. It's chalked. It's over with. Asum, honestly, he did a fantastic job today. He was absolutely frying. I think today he just wanted to prove something. He had something to prove.
Better than that, bro. I think he had the most kills of any player in any series.
What was his finishing stats? Do you know?
He went 108 and 77 with a 1.4 overall.
In 4 maps, by the way.
Damn.
They were plus 31.
And speaking of the Los Angeles Gorillas, we got Alex Rubens dropping 50 subs to the flank, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? Can we get Alex in the chat and show Alex Rubens over from the LAG some love? We appreciate it, boss. Holy shit, out of nowhere. And he treated me and Ben to an LA Rams game. This guy's a goal. This guy's an animal. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate you, man.
Some interesting videos came in here looking back. 2 Gavutu bands from the side of the New York Subliners. LG taking out Bocage makes sense to me. And then Deserts. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know if I like the Tuscan control for NYSL. I feel like they would like playing Gavitu, right? Like
that's like a Crim and Clay like wheelhouse map,
Yeah, especially control where like Hydra can kind of play that pred role that we're talking about. Like he'll just go rogue in the spawns. But I mean they ended up winning it somehow. I have no fucking idea how. We'll get there eventually because that's where Asum went on like a 13 streak and somehow lost a round. That's mind blowing, by the way. A 13 streak in a control, not even just the 40, but like a 13 kill streak in 1 round, like and you don't win. Yeah, that's mind blowing.
That is mind blowing. That is.
Well, LAG in general got off to a hard. I mean, I think they led wire to wire on this map, but a quick start for the LAG boys. And I think I'm curious, like, has New York won a map 1 in both their series they played as a team? I don't think they have, right?
I don't
They
know.
always come out slow. Why?
Classic?
Why do they come out so slow?
I don't know what changed.
They didn't win the map one yesterday, and they didn't win it today. I don't remember at Kickoff Classic.
Kickoff Classic, they won, I think.
No, they were hot at the Kickoff Classic.
They were
bro.
super fucking hot at the Kickoff
I don't know
Classic.
what happened. Like I had high hopes coming off the Kickoff Classic for this team, but I don't know if it was like the LAN back to online transition or what. But they seem flustered in all their listen-ins. Yeah. They seem frustrated on cam. Clay's not playing well at all.
They seem stressed. They seem stressed.
Well, yeah. So a couple of things here. One is we know Clay is going to be is always kind of the same. You know, he's going to wear his
Porter too. Porter too.
Around that. I think the other problem in NYSL too I know is that their practice hasn't been great because Clay's been dealing with COVID issues. It's obviously it sucks sometimes you get symptoms after, so that probably hasn't helped. And I think the bigger thing, and Tom, you and I talked about it on a previous episode of the show. It's like, I think there's like kind of now sort of two duos on this team. You've kind of the Clay and Crim duo and Neptune Hydra duo. And it's going to take a while for those guys to gel, especially Neptune and Hydra that have never teamed before.
Yeah.
So this is a team that like I don't expect them in stage one to really. I'm not saying they're going to be a non-factor, but like I'm not expecting them to come out and win this event.
Well, let me give you a rundown.
Much better stage two team.
Let me give you a rundown of their stats because this was insane to me. I don't think I'd ever seen like a team get put down as bad as they did. Clay neg 25, Crim neg 16, and Neptune neg 30.
So they were all getting pooped on. I mean, bad.
Other than Hydra, yeah. I mean, Hydra was doing his thing, plus 12, 99 kills, 87 deaths, doing his thing. But yeah, the rest of them were just getting shit on. And like, obviously, ASIM had an insane series, plus 31. Gunless as well went plus 20. But to see all three of those guys, because we know how talented all three of them are, to be going like on average neg 20 each, like that's
getting out slay like that, and especially with a team like this where especially New York Subliners, you feel like they're so slay heavy, it's just something that you just don't expect, right? But at the same time, I think this is more of an LAG kicking the fuck up than a New York Subliner having a bad day. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Absolutely an ASIM kicking the fuck up
this
thing.
Guy
we were talking about ASIM's
like
consistency and kind of like his respawn back and forthness, but he just didn't have a bad map all series.
Nope. And listen, that ASIM knows that. Like that's the thing that ASIM's gonna have to work on, and that's what happens when you're a super hyper aggressive player. Everybody's gone through it. Kleenex goes through it. Fucking a Beezy goes through it, where they're just constantly in those maps where they're just finding themselves in a blender.
It's in the blender, man.
It's just the bad rhythm, right?
Right.
Like,
and why
not
some
able to get it going.
Yeah, and some players might get that more than others. Like ASIM's been struggling in the beginning of the year, but I mean he kicked up today and showed what he can do. You know what he's able to do. He just needs to get on that level of consistency. Because today his POV today was insane.
If ASIM is even able to play half at what he did today on a consistent level, right? Like it's just half. Then this team is gonna be really good. Like
it's not about he could do that, you know. Like he could definitely do that.
I
now he just needs to execute
on this team. Like you kind of see when he has series like this, they're gonna look like they're dominant, right? Like
Hook and ASIM are the X factors. Hook and ASIM.
Yeah, because if you look at it,
Hook did well too today. He played well.
Collar's that traditional roam player, and ASIM's got to kind of play around that by hitting the more long routes and kind of being a front line. But you know, if those two figure it out, then the AR kind of battle and play for Gunless and Austin's pretty straightforward. Or when you make it straightforward for those guys, like their gun is elite. Like if you're putting them in power positions, they're getting plus gunfights. Like those guys aren't getting peeled. You know, they're gonna win their fights, and it's gonna be a really.
Tom, you remember the situation we went over yesterday where Hugh just went rogue and like I guess expected ASIM to follow
him. Yeah.
Dude, I think if it's actually flipped, they would benefit a lot. If ASIM is the one kind of deciding to go rogue and then
Tyler follows him up,
Kyler's the follow up,
100%.
I think that's where they would really see a lot of success.
Yeah, and that'll come over time with those two. I feel like over time they're just gonna they'll feel it. It's a rhythm that you can't really like. You could talk about it, but you're gonna have to feel it. You're gonna have to feel it in game, and they're gonna have to feel. You know, am I making sense here, Pat? Or am I sounding like a moron? But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're making sense because it is
reputation, like reputation. You get so many reputations of being in a situation with your duo that you just
getting that habit. That's what habit,
like a habit. Right. Yeah.
But Ben, you skipped through it. But LEG actually did that setup, that P5 setup that we talked about again. And it worked to a charm. I think Lando actually shouted out the flank. He was like talking about how we had mentioned that setup, but yeah, I think that setup is going to be the setup for that P5 hill on this map.
Yeah, 100,000 million %. This is what we're in the S&D now, right? Berlin, Berlin,
this, I mean, bro, we can watch some rounds. This is a hot 6-0 S&D.
This is quick, bro. This is really quick.
You got like 10 kills in 6 maps, which you don't want to see.
This is impressive, man. And listen, this is what LAG needed. This shit, bro.
Well, this is surprising, right? Because we were talking about LAG and their S&D just looked so
bad
sloppy.
it was. So bad.
Sniping, just not playing the same way. But yeah, to come out in 6-0, I think it was the first 6-0 of any match on Vanguard, like that's on the CDL.
They had a different mentality today, Pat. It seemed like
it's an interesting thing, Pat, because I know Austin and Pierce, his teams traditionally kind of play like a very similar S&D style. It's very much like an info and play style, whereas like, you know, Asim and Collar may excel more in like sort of a mix of more of a hard counter system and more of like a go button system. And I feel like on this map, they kind of did a good mix of both. And like, if you're unpredictable in that way, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for you.
Yeah, I think it'll work as long as they're on the same page, right? As long as like Kyler and Asim aren't playing that style while Gunless and Slasher are playing that style, they can mix it up and do it round by round. But as long as it's not like 2 people doing one thing and 2 people doing another thing in the same round, then it'll work.
I agree, because that's why like Toronto and FaZe were so good last year, because they could play both ways, and it makes them unpredictable. It's hard to counter.
Well, look at that round 11 Toronto just did. 4 of them running up mid map, 5-5. Like I wouldn't fucking anticipate that.
Instead of the normal people just hold their L triggers in middle of the map and no one wants to move round 11 because no one wants to get first blooded. Like
that's how round 11 always was. Who had the bigger balls? That was round 11. That's how I looked at it. That's how I looked at it. What do you mean not on my teams? Yeah, it was. That's how I always looked at it.
I'm saying on your teams, you guys are hitting shit, but like a lot of other teams, sometimes in these round 11s,
oh yeah,
well, it could punish you, right? Based on the maps. But I think with these maps, like if you can find that window, Tom, like would you mind like throwing a jiggy and just seeing what's open and then just no hezzy, it'll work out for you.
No, it will. It should listen. Whatever you do, everybody's got to be on the same page, and you got to be. What do I gotta be, Pat? You know what I'm going. Decisive, motherfuckers. That's what I'm talking about.
Austin had back-to-back 3Ks on this map. He'd start out 6-0 with 6 kills in 2 rounds. Well, I'm very curious what Krim is doing in this situation. By the way, we were talking about during the watch party here. I know that like you can watch a bomb from the spot, Tom. When it's like top 3 spot, but
you can see the cross right there. But what do you mean they can watch a bomb?
Why is he even
worried about that? Can Krim see the sight from there? Can he see it?
No, but even if he can, but what info? Why is he even looking there?
I don't know. This was the dumbest play.
Just died outer, and I'm assuming Hydra said that he only saw one guy. Like, why is he even focused on that?
No. You know what you see there? I know that angle. That's the angle where you can see like outer. You can see outskirts and shit.
Oh, like the back steps?
Yeah, like the back steps and shit. Like you can get angles there and see back steps and you can get some picks.
But player 1 is kind of watching that anyway. So like, what's the point in this setup?
Well, it's also number 3 didn't exactly die like outer like on the ramp, right? He died
at the top of the steps in the room. Yeah.
He died on the train tracks and like you know they're not even going up the stairs. So
no, he blacked out. No, Porter blacked out right there. He blacked out.
If you want to pull up Krim's tweet, because he pretty much said it exactly. He was like, I don't know what the fuck that was out of us today. That was pathetic. I think they were just off. Like they just looked sloppy as hell.
Yeah.
And LAG capitalized. They just came out firing. Advantage.
Listen, that's gonna happen. You know. No, I'll let you. You could go ahead. But I'm just saying that's gonna happen.
The problem now is again, if you go down an 0-2 hole with this format, like they now need to win 3 straight, because if you do not get 2 wins, you're starting in losers 100%.
Yeah.
Unless the crazy stuff happens. And that's a one and done situation. So really not the best of weeks for them. And now over the next 3 games, they, you know, at least they have 1 and 2. Like they've got some time to figure it out. But it's not the start they wanted, and they're gonna have to get some wins here to really like make sure they're in a position to finish good in this major. Again,
who do they play? What's their schedule? I know you mentioned it the other day.
The remaining teams that they play They play Thieves on Sunday, so they only have 1 match next weekend, and then they finish off playing Boston Breach and FaZe, and like, you know, they've got 2 really tough games in there. Thieves have been really good. Obviously, FaZe
and Boston. I mean, Boston they took game 5 at the kickoff.
Yeah, those 2 teams played a banger. Yeah. So I mean, there's a world here where New York can go 0-5 theoretically. I mean, I don't think it's likely, but you know, it's not like they've.
I think it's possible, and I think that just is more to your point about this team just not being a stage 1 team, right? Not being able to put it together in time.
Well, my other issue was it too is I saw a Reddit post like a week or so ago of like ranking everybody's kind of major 1 schedules, and they had the hardest one.
Yeah.
Like think about it.
Well, no, them and Rocker, I think, right?
Yeah, Rocker's got a chalk schedule too. But
Rocker's schedule, yeah. Rocker was. Wait, what? Rocker's playing.
Hey, wake up.
Rocker's is like.
Theirs is like crazy. I remember when I was looking at it.
Look up
Brian
tweeted
it today.
about it.
Yeah.
Also, ASIM does a fantastic job in his bomb site. It's impressive stuff.
Minnesota plays Texas, Seattle, London, and Atlanta.
Yeah.
The first 4 matches of the stage.
I feel like ASIM, they couldn't contain him in this site, and he just kept finessing. He jumped out the window, got another one, and flanked Porter. I mean, he was so confident. He wasn't scared to challenge anything. He wasn't scared to shimmy anything, get information. I felt like he was making so many solo plays. It must be so annoying to play against.
Him playing, yeah. Like I want him playing that way on a team with Kyler.
100%, because Kyler will pick up the scraps.
Yeah,
you know,
Kyler will just follow it up.
ASIM just can't overdo it. Like he just can't fucking like go super fucking rogue. Like, you know, plant the bomb here and then jump out this fucking window and just
doing it alone. He can't
just don't do it. Just keep finessing. Like keep staying alive. Keep finessing. Keep sliding around. Like what he's doing right now. How he's always playing tight corners and he's just a hard kill. You can't kill him. And you get more information. Like Clay. You see Clay trying to kill him right here. Like, ASIM's just sitting here sliding back and forth, and Clay's laying him up. Yeah, just being annoying.
And Hydra tries to go for the trade. He finesses. He smokes Clay.
I mean, he just had a day, bro. This is just a hats off day for
ASIM. He had a day.
Well, I'm sure, like, per that tweet, like, this is obviously a lot on the line for him. Like, he got dropped off that New York team. And, like, I know we won't sugarcoat it, like, you know, the New York team had a lot of issues in the back end of the season. Like, it's not just a situation we lost, he got dropped. Like, you know, there was some stuff to unpack there. And I'm sure this series win meant a lot to them. Also for LEG as well. They were a team that lost yesterday, so they also didn't want to go down 0-2 in this series. A lot of passion on the line.
I also want to show some love to Slasher, man. Pat, you want to see this guy kick up? I mean, he's 7-2 right now. He's having a good day today. He was frying. He was hitting some good laser beams.
Yeah, and Slasher's traditionally always been like a force
just
in
solid.
search. So that's really important to me to kind of see him kick it up in S&D, because I think he's going to be a big catalyst for this team in search, especially if they're going to play the style that, you know, him and Pierce are accustomed to more often than not. But yeah, if he's going fucking 8-2 starting games and there's 6-0 people, then that's really important. Like I think his respawn will always get there, but if he can rely on his, you know, S&D that he's traditionally been known to be good at, then things are gonna be looking up.
Yeah. You can see the scoreboard here. I mean, it just wasn't looking good for New York. I mean, you got a couple of Brady, Dawn over here, this and that. They couldn't get anything going. We head into the Tuscan Control, one of the first Tuscan Controls. I mean, we saw OpTic play. Was it OpTic who played it? Tuscan Control, but we finally got it again, which I enjoy watching this map. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy Tuscan Control way more than Gavatil.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I want to make a note. Through 2 rounds, I didn't even realize ASIM was negative, and actually, we're gonna go ahead and drag him in here. ASIM, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, so what's going on, guys? What's going on, ASIM? How you doing today?
I am doing phenomenal, Tom. Phenomenal.
What's going on with you? How you feeling? How you feeling after a big W? Okay, let's be honest, ASIM. You guys started off very slow. Okay, so now you come back today and you took care of business. Let's talk a little bit about that. How'd you do it?
Let's talk about it.
How'd you do it? What are you feeling right now? Talk to me.
Listen, Tom, I told you leading up to this week, you know, we've been beating all your favorite teams out there, all right?
You did tell me that. You did.
Yesterday was a very poor performance of that, and I'll tell you why, okay?
But before you say anything, every single pro player is smoking the best teams I talk to. Everybody's smoking everybody.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's a common denominator here.
You know me, Tom. I never bitch about connection, excuses, none of that bullshit. You know what happened yesterday, Tom? The Dallas Storm took our power out for the entire day.
Yeah, okay? I saw your tweets. That was tough. That was tough.
I show up to the facility at 11:15. All right. Show up. You know me, Tom. First one in, last one out. You know the vibes.
Yeah.
I'm first one in. Right. I'm walking in. I see my coaches are sitting down. I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing? They're like, yo, power's out. I'm like, bro.
I would have lost full. I
lost full immediately. Okay. They're like, we're gonna give it an hour and a half before we chalk in and start packing up everything.
Yeah.
So we sit there for an hour and a half waiting for the power to get on. Okay. Yep. At this point, our match is at 2 o'clock. It's 12:30. We start packing up everything. We packed up our PC, our monitor, the cameras, the fucking backdrop, the webcams, everything, okay? We packed
I
it all
would
up.
have lost full,
We packed it all up, Tom. It was a
God.
hassle, Tom. Okay, we packed it all up. We get to our apartments, our separate apartments, to repack, set it all up.
Yeah.
The power goes back on. Guess what we had to do?
Bring everything
We
back.
gotta take everything
bring
else
everything
and bring
back,
it back
yeah.
and Okay, so that's basically what happened yesterday. It was an absolute catastrophe. We had no preparation, no warm up, nothing. We just went into the game raw.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna use any excuses, but I'll tell you right now, that is why we lost. All right.
I mean, listen, that's in the fucking past.
That's in the past.
We're not talking about that. We don't give a fuck. Today was a different day. Today you went the fuck off. What the fuck did you eat today? What did you eat?
I ate a nice acai bowl.
Well, eat that shit every day.
I got a nice game fuel in. You know what it vibes. That's all it is.
I gotta ask, did you have that tweet in the drafts? Has that been a draft tweet?
So going into this year, like I've always been, marking the calendar when we played New York Subliners. Sure. But listen, after we won, it instantly clicked in my head. I was like, yo, the Subliners tweeted Rocker last year and had a banger tweet. Let me quote that shit. So literally,
you hit them back with their own shit.
Was like, get in the interview. I'm sitting on my phone scrolling through, like I'm trying to find a New York Subliner picture to like post, and I'm like literally hassling. So I somehow got the tweet in before the interview, and then they showed it on the interview. So it's hilarious.
Gersh is sitting here super tight about what you just said. Just
yeah, I out-mean Gersh today, Tom.
You out-mean them. And this guy Gersh keeps retweeting all the Subliners tweets on the flank Twitter. He keeps retweeting all the Subliners tweets. I said, Gersh, what are you doing? What are you doing? But to be fair, the Subliners tweets do be having some banger tweets.
Listen, all love to Subliners, bro. Like it was a mutual party.
And let's also say that
it was all fun and games.
Gersh is the best social media manager right now, and it's not even close.
Nah, I don't know. Frank might have a little more.
Nah, bro. Gersh is the GOAT, dude. Gersh is the GOAT,
Frank runs
man.
the head of socials on LAG. You gotta watch out for him. He's funny.
Listen, bro, there's a lot of good social media managers. There are. I feel I just feel like Gersh has 100% cemented himself as one of the best social media managers.
Gersh just seems like he's so in tune with the community and like what people like and want.
I love Gersh, bro. I fucking love him.
Yangs is pretty good. Like I've always.
Yangs is pretty good, but she left to C9.
Yeah, she went to C9, but like. Bro, like a lot of the CDL Twitter accounts, especially like Florida. I know the guy who does the London Twitter account used to do the.
So you're basically just saying everybody but Paris.
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
No, but yo, I did want to mention that what you guys said early on about our series was spot on. Like that's something that what you said about me and Kyler not being on or making sure that we're on the right
same page,
like, same page, yeah.
You hear that, guys?
That's something
spot on analysis.
Literally spot on. Literally every single day, the coaches, bro. Literally every single day, the coaches talk about how me and Kyler need to get in tune, and how like when one of us is going rogue, the other one is going rogue too, and we need to read each other's minds. So
it's a rhythm.
Every day going to practice, that's literally what me and Kyler focus on, is like trying to make sure if one's going rogue, the other guy's making the right play. So I mean,
and listen, bro, you're gonna have days where you might not be on the same page and shit's hitting the fucking fan. It's all about consistency. Keep doing the repetition. Keep doing what you're doing. Get into a habit of taking the same routes. You guys are gonna start reading each other without even having to talk to each other.
And
that's what we're trying to build.
And COD's so situational, bro. It's all about just more often than not, right? Like if you're making those plays more often than you're not, you're gonna. Oh, by the way, I gotta ask you. You're on like a 13 streak and you lose a round of control. How is that possible?
Yeah, how do you feel after that?
Head?
Listen, Patty P.
What were you thinking?
I hit him with the Tommy quote. Okay, so teaming with Tommy, I've never heard Tommy one time lose full at our team except for once. All right,
I lost full one time. It was one time.
I hit my team with the same quote today, bro.
Did you actually? You hit him with the same one?
The same quote.
No way.
In Black Ops 4 and FaZe, when we played United. Me and Tommy were dead. We were spectating our team, and we got 1v3'd by Simp with a pistol around Jet. Okay?
I spectated the whole thing.
Me and Tommy have never lost full at our teammates. The one thing Tommy said after we lost the round was, "Come on, guys." That's exactly why my team.
And the thing is like,
come on, guys, how did we lose?
And the thing is, a lot of people are used to me because I'm on stream and I'm always trolling and like making jokes. But I was actually fucking pissed off. Like I was like, "Come on, guys, what the fuck are we doing?" Like I was screaming.
Bro, I was mind blown.
Go back and
as I think the entire stream was when they watched this live. You were like frying when he every gunfight, and then we're like, Wait, it's 2-2, huh?
Dude, you have to go back to the watch party when we were watching. We were going crazy. Like it was actually. We were getting so turned.
Need to watch it. People are saying this is one of the craziest COD clips of all time.
Wait, this is the best Vanguard clip so far.
This 3-piece is disgusting.
This was fire, bro. Capsules was sick too. I really like Capsules.
It just didn't end, bro. That's why it was so sick.
This was so sick right here. This was so fire. That was fire right there. That was clean. You just kept going. You never stopped. What's comedy is your webcam. You're screaming. You're literally screaming in a way. You're screaming. That's why it was so funny seeing you just scream every time you got a kill.
Bro.
You were so turned. How did you lose this? What happened though? What the hell happened here? Let's analyze this shit.
I don't know.
They love that.
Let's watch it back right now because, dude, in the game, like when I died, I'm like, all right, boys, we're up so many lives. We have a bunch of time. Let's play together. Every time I said let's get together, someone would get picked. I'm like, guys, we need to get together. Then someone else will get picked. Yeah. I'm like, dude, guys, can we just fucking hold each other's pockets?
They are solo challenge a lot.
All we have to do is hold each other's pockets and get a trade. That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, 21-11 with a minute and 30 left.
Ben, back-to-back days, we absolutely tossed around 4 in control. I don't know what's going on.
21-11, bro, and that's crazy.
On this map too.
Yeah, that is crazy.
20-10 now. Like you guys are getting decent trades.
Oh, come on, Austin, you gotta get that. Austin, you gotta get that trade there, bro.
Oh, we're like
no, I know what happened there to Austin. I know what happened there. He was definitely aiming, and a guy slid under his iron sight. Does that not happen to you guys sometimes?
No, that happens.
Because that happens to me when I'm playing. I'm like, damn, fuck, what the hell? He hit you with the slide.
Dude, I was not expecting a vet like Austin to solo chow Clay right there, dude. I'm like, dude, let's get together, man. Come on, Austin. But apparently he said he got joked. I don't know, online league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he says, see what I'm saying is he's about to say, he's.
See, but hold on, that was like 19-8 kills, and then it just went to 11-7.
It's 14-7. Like you guys should definitely still.
What do you think here? You think we tossed?
Yeah, I think it was a toss. I'm sorry.
You think it was a classic FaZe troll?
I think y'all just like.
No, Tom, they trolled Tom.
Bro, no bullshit. I think you were just so hyped.
No, this was a troll. Go ahead, Pat. Go ahead.
I feel like they were so hyped when you were piecing that you just kept playing that way and like threw teamwork out the window, but just wasn't winning any of your ones. Like, cause New York was just like kill feed just dominating for like.
No, yeah.
That's how they brought that back.
I don't know, but good shit though, Asim. You were fine. Y'all lost, but you were fine. You know.
Tom, or Ben, I gotta ask you a question. Did New York lose today, or did they troll?
I think New York definitely did not play good in either of these series.
All right, just making sure.
I think obviously you're fried, but
hold on. No, I can answer this question for you. Clay neg 25, Krim neg 16, Neptune neg 29. Bro, you don't troll when you have 3 people going neg 30.
Pat, it's an inside joke.
No, I know.
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. Yeah, no.
But
I'm not throwing any shit at New York.
I just wanted to spotlight those stats.
It's just funny. Last year, like whenever, because FaZe only lost like what 6 times last year. Every time Tommy would bring it up at the flank, Ben would get so passionate and be like, "No, Tom, they trolled, dude.
I'm gonna do that in one series. Come on, man. But now
no, you've done it way more.
The most annoying thing now is every time they lose, my mentions are 8. Even if I don't tweet anything, the people just tweet at me, DM me, bro. It's
Ben, you're a hot shot now.
You are hot, Ben. You are a hot shot, my guy. You are a hot commodity. Okay, you're looking like $1 million. People love you, bro. They love you.
Ben, because that just made me think about the first tweet I got today was when London beat OpTic, and someone tweeted me like it was obviously someone from Europe. They hit me with like some like European slang, but they were like, "You still think London's D tier?" And then they hit me with that fucking word.
Wait, there was people in my chat. There was first-time chatters, people that never talked to my chat before, coming in here like, "You gonna put London there now, lad?" or some shit. They must have been like from the UK, you know? Yeah. And I was like, "Dude, my bad, bro. Like, you're right. Like, we fucked up, dude. We fucked up." Welcome to the live stream, dude.
To be fair, though, watching this map back now, I forgot that Hydra basically kind of made the play to win this. Yeah, and obviously it was 9-6. But it was 8-6. You guys kind of had pretty.
Hydra is the reason why they won this match. He was actually
he was decent. Which is like
me versus him.
Which is like Hydra, like he's consistently doing this shit.
Bro, I was saying the other thing too in game 2, Tom. Like when he went on that crazy spree on their offense in church, I'm like, guys, like. Come on, guys, like
kill this guy.
Hydra, like,
yeah, that's the worst feeling when you just keep seeing your team, like when you're in a good position, you're frying, but on the other side of the map, your teammates just can't get out of a fucking little trap that they're in, and they're just
by
getting,
one person.
By like one guy, and you're like, come on, kill this fucking guy. What's wrong with you? It's how I felt when Simple 1v3 and I lost 4.
He had a pistol, Tom.
Yeah, he had a pistol, but what are you gonna do? But you guys end up clutching it up, doing what you gotta do. Thank God, because that would have sucked if you guys lost the map. Then I would have lost.
Yeah, if that would have like went game 5,
that would have been
like them getting hype from that, bro.
So I wanna watch this back because this is like, okay, somehow in this situation, Asim, you get by Neptune. I don't know if you've gone back and watched this, but it's gonna blow your mind. Watch the bottom screen.
Yo, can you send me the link to Ben so I can get in like real time?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is crazy.
What?
Yeah, this is crazy right here.
Yeah,
This is crazy right
Did he
here.
close his eyes?
Bro, I lost.
He trolled, Ben. He trolled.
I don't know. What did he do? What did he do there? I don't understand. Wait, let me. What did he look at?
Is there like a lower part there?
That was a moron play by me. On vet play by hitting ult. I'm a dumbass
bottom
for
of the
that.
roof, and maybe you can't see. Like maybe it's behind the pillar.
Play it out. Play it out.
I ran directly in front of him, Tom.
No. There's a pillar there. There's a pillar there.
Yeah,
though.
he's probably
He
using the
was
pillar.
shimmying?
he was shimmying the pillar and he
my
didn't
God.
he didn't see you get through.
Wow,
Which
that
is
COD timing.
that is
its
insane.
finest.
That is insane. That is fucking insane. And you guys got a lot of time here. You guys some good time here.
Who was it that you went by? Oh, he's probably losing full watching that.
Yeah, he
back.
definitely lost full watching that. COD timing, bro. Scump's timings today were insane too. When he was in the what map is it? Berlin S&D, I think, against London when in a corner, dude. I lost full when he's by that B bomb site. He was like, every time he turned around, some guy would come around the corner, and they just kept missing each other. Yeah, they kept missing each other. I was like, dude, what the fuck? It's always crazy watching it back. As a player, I'm saying, Asim, like when you watch this shit back and you're like,
oh yeah, for sure. This shit's crazy.
I think you guys kind of chain these next two hills. Like you do a good job against this Churchill, and I think you guys get a break on this P5, right? Go around, yeah. I remember this because Austin gets his kill. You guys kind of win.
That was a really good pinch too by Slasher.
Yeah.
I like how he cut the map there. He got one. He kind of just sacrificed himself to get another one, and then just chalked it. He sacrificed himself there.
I like this nade from Asim. We'll just watch it. We'll bank this shit off the table.
Yeah, the nade off the table.
Shotzi last night.
Really? Shotzi did that last night?
Yeah, he taught me last night.
You should have won that though. You trolled that. You fucked up.
Paco gunned me, you know.
He gunned you right there. He gunned you right there for sure. Good play at a money, Paco.
Even use a streak here. I think you guys end up.
So,
Tom, what do you think you should kill here? The guy in hill or the guy pushed up our side?
The guy pushed up your side because that's the guy being a nuisance. So get him the fuck up out of there and fucking hit the guy in hill. We were talking about this during the watch party because RJ said like, oh, he should have went for the guy in hill, and then we were like, and then Z said no. We talked about this yesterday in scrims. That's what Z said. Z said that he played with you in AIDS yesterday, and he's like, we talked about this yesterday. Go for the guy in the power position with the missile.
I love Z, man.
Me too, man. I love Z too. He's the GOAT, bro. He's the fucking GOAT. But I was like, it was a good play. I like that.
You get some time. You guys clean wipe them. Remember, you do a good job on this P2 here. Kind of holding them back. Do you guys trap them? I don't remember. Now they get out. Spawn middle. You guys go around the back.
Paco was doing well here too on this roof. You can make a lot of plays on that roof,
I'm
man.
I'm telling you, it was literally me versus Paco, dude. Paco was actually frying.
Yeah, he was going well.
Instant because you guys all off his spawn. I would have lost full.
This is kind of off topic, but you know what I like about Paco, bro? I feel like he doesn't really have bad maps. Like his bad maps are like evens. Like
consistency is the best trait that he's ever had.
Yeah, he's really consistent.
I don't ever see him getting shit on. He's always doing at least even.
He reminds me like when he plays.
Oh, smoke.
That was a sick play. When Hydra plays, he's so smooth. Like he's so smooth around the map, and he plays really good off angles, and he has a really good IQ, man. This guy's smart, dude. His awareness is insane. He always knows where people are coming from. He's a really smart player. And his comms too have gone a lot better.
You guys have kind of a good break here because you basically just. New York, there's two guys stacked in hill. It's the only spot they're overloading. Yep. So you guys basically guarantee you get 2 trades here, and then it's just a free break. You get the one. You basically get 2 free kills.
Gordon lost full. His character there when he's looking up in the air looked comedy.
He was shocked. And now they spawned out. They're field front. Like you guys get, I think, a lot of time on this hill, right? 30 seconds. Yeah. So you're back in this now.
There was a lead change. And you guys, there was a lead change towards the end. New York did a good job, though. New York did a good job clutching up.
A big win.
They did. And honestly, wasn't New York was getting outslayed like fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah,
like that, you know what I'm saying?
That's how they are though. Like I feel like the way Clay plays too. Like people, I don't know why people say he's slow. I think Clay's one of the fastest mainers ever. Like,
Clay's not slow.
But Clay can't be going 16 and 30, bro. Not on this team. Like Clay needs to To me, Clay needs to stay. I know he had COVID a little bit.
Just,
He was healing from that,
I just
but
think that
Clay's
they're
gotta- I
Pat, the
think I
way they
wanna
play
see Clay
Respawn
step
is a
up.
very flood heavy team. Like they will make sure that they get 3 waves in and a hold, and other people only take 1. So
Which
it's like,
to me is fine. I feel like they can still play that way, but I feel like Clay needs to take on more of an insight role because Toronto kind of does it a little bit the same way, but I don't want to see Clay being a part of that flood, right?
It's,
Like
it's the same thing with insight. Like if you're dropping that impactful 0.95 and like your team's getting your trades and they're getting pluses, like you're good.
yeah, but I just
I see what you're saying. He could be an insight type of player, but I think the way he works is what makes Paco like so good too. Like I feel like he's kind of like an entry Maniar in a way. Like that's how he played last year too. Like Clay had, I think, the most Maniar engagements out of any other AR by a mile. Like he's just really fast.
Yeah, this was such a big play by Slasher too to pop the 2-piece here, and then he put some bullets down into Porter, kind of slowed down their whole push. Like this was a really good play. You guys did a good, and before this, Big P went big. I don't know if you guys saw what Big P did, but before this, I think it was Hydra who pieced you guys, and Big P bounced it back with a big 2-piece.
Where were you watching? There's 2 massive 1v1s.
is it the one where he beating the guy with the tree head?
He gets 2, and that's 1.
He gets 1, and then he beamed this guy bad. Yeah, Big P, man.
Like New York did such a good job. They did such a good job clutching up that P5, and then you guys just shut him down on the next one, bro. You shut him down here. There was nothing they could have done.
And there's shocks. So like Asen, if you'd come in this week so that you were going to finish the week 1-1, like would you have taken that? Like, are you happy with where you guys kind of netted going into Sunday?
I will say I'm super proud with how the team bounced back from yesterday. Like I think, like I said in my interview today, like I took a lot of the loss on me because like usually I always like show up like hours before matches and make sure I'm prepared. And like yesterday I just felt super overwhelmed, and today I made sure I was like on top of my stuff. And shout out to Austin and Pierce, because bro, I feel like those two are so experienced and they're so consistent in the way they play. And if me and Kyler can just get like just a little bit just like them in forms of how we play like towards our game plan, like we'll never lose.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. I agree. It's something you guys are gonna have to focus on, and you guys aren't the only team that runs into those problems. That's a pretty common problem. Is like finding consistency.
It's a very hard thing to accomplish, but I mean that's what makes teams like top teams.
Teams, yeah. The consistency. It's the most important part. We got some matches tomorrow. Let's pull them up. Right over here, we got kicking things off at 3 Eastern with Florida Mutineers going up against the Paris Legion, on to Los Angeles C's Atlanta FaZe, and then we're ending with OpTic Texas and Minnesota Rockers. So we got some good matches, a lot of top teams playing tomorrow. Let's kick things off. We'll run through these predictions quick. We've had a long show today. We got Florida against Paris Legion. I got Paris tomorrow.
This is a wild series.
Bro, I
got Paris 3-2.
I have no idea who's
bro.
gonna win this series.
Neither do I.
Hold on, bro. All right, yo. I got a gift card here. This side is Paris, and this side is Florida.
I'm flipping a coin too, dude.
Florida, baby. I got Florida.
Florida. You know what's funny? I think I told Easy Mac my prediction for whatever what's he doing the predictions for? Why does he get our predictions? What does he need that for?
Breaking point.
Oh, for breaking point. I'm pretty sure I went with Florida on that, but I'm gonna go with Paris on the flank. How about that? We'll change that.
I just did heads or tails, and it's Paris. So we're gonna say
I gotta win in one of them.
We're saying Paris 3-2 and a nice big series from.
I said Florida. I said Florida for the breaking point. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, now we got.
Dude, I'm telling you honestly, like Paris played good yesterday, obviously, but you never know consistency. And Florida's been like the most inconsistent team in COD for like 18 months.
Who do you got, Ben? Who do you got?
Paris 3-2.
Okay.
Flip the coin.
All right, LA Thieves, Atlanta FaZe. Who do you guys got?
I don't know. I feel like this should be the marquee match.
I don't know what
should be the marquee match.
I don't know what the hell is going on here.
This is gonna be a banger, I think. For sure.
I think this should be the best
listen.
match
I'm gonna be
tomorrow.
honest. I don't know who's winning this. Obviously, I'm gonna go with FaZe. Because I'm biased as fuck.
Ben, what do you think? You think FaZe is gonna troll tomorrow?
I think that
I heard LA Thieves is disgusting. I heard those guys are good as fuck.
My only thing here is I know the historical record against these player versus players definitely favors FaZe.
Okay.
And the FaZe versus Thieves record is also pretty one-sided. Okay. It's going to be really interesting to see, again, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, like, what are FaZe going to do about this Gavutu problem? Like, if you end up not winning the coin flip, right?
Bro,
like,
it doesn't
you don't
matter.
have a
You
choice.
can't play it.
You don't have, no, what I'm saying, Pat, what I'm saying is, like, the way that the vetoes work for control, right? If you don't get team A, it's not like you have a choice.
Yeah, but control, whatever. But hardpoint, bro, it's Octane. Like, no, bro, veto it. Like, just get that out of there.
Yeah, I agree. Just get it the
Play
fuck up out of there.
Just get mixy.
You don't want Kenny and Octane running around pushing out cuts with an automaton on Gavin.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually go with a little bit of fire pick. I'm going LA Thieves 3-1.
Oh, Ben
you're going against your own team.
Wow,
that's crazy. That's crazy. But listen, that's good though. It's gonna be motivation. Yeah. They gotta turn up. I feel like though, Pat, going to the Gavitu point though, you gotta remember what kind of firepower FaZe got to with the ARs, with Cell and RCs.
Well,
you know.
See, that's the thing. It's
you know what I'm saying?
That they are fundamentally bad at the map, but dude, if I'm thinking like, all right, let's say I'm coaching FaZe, right? I'm looking at my team. I don't care how good my ARs are when I have the best sub duo in the game. Put them on sub maps. The AR players are gonna do their thing no matter what. But I'm putting Simp and Abizi on sub maps. So
that's exactly what we were saying too, Pat. Like, you're playing a team like Paris. Like, why wouldn't you just have your subs run at them in Berlin or Boca? I know that Paris vetoed Boca, but like they should have played them in Berlin. I feel like, but
yeah,
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to question their vetoes.
It's a mixy map, right? Like, do you agree?
No, it's a mix. It's definitely way more mixier than Gavitu for sure.
It's mixy for sure. So you got Pat. Who do you have? Ben has LA Thieves
winning it, but I could see Thieves easily winning it. It'd probably be 3-2 FaZe. That's what I'll go with.
I'll go 3-2. Yeah, I was gonna go 3-2 too.
I could easily see Thieves winning this, like easily.
I could see yeah, dude, this can go either way. That match is gonna be insane. I'm excited for that.
It should be a game 5 around the books, but we'll see. I mean, Thieves look so good at Kickoff Classic. I know they've been playing well in scrims. Like, I think if there was a chance for Thieves ever had against FaZe, this might be the time for them to do it. I'm very curious. Hopefully, it doesn't end up like.
I also want to say one thing too, Ben. Like, shout out to Octane for actually coming on and playing tomorrow. I feel like it's a really hard thing to do, especially when you lose. Well, he lost his grandfather today or his grandmother.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's lost both his grandparents recently.
Yeah, no, I send him a lot of prayers because I mean I had the same thing happen last year where I had to play a match against Toronto Ultra on the day I had my funeral with my grandfather and uncle. So
that's hard, man.
It's a hard thing to do. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Octane, man. It's good to walk in and chat, show him some love, man. It's never easy going through a loss in the family.
It's the worst.
So shout out to him, man. Best of luck to him tomorrow. And then we got the last series, which you guys said that LAD's FaZe can go either way. All 3 of these series can go either way. We got OpTic Texas and Minnesota Rocker.
So to me, I think OpTic has to win this, bro. Like, they cannot start out 0-2, having a bad performance at the kickoff. That would just be, to me, like just such a bad showing of them in general to making this blockbuster transition with the merge and this new team and playing. I mean, I think they were playing some of the best online early, right, from any team early on. So yeah, to me they can't start 0-2, so this is a must win for them. But yeah, we haven't seen much of the Rockers, so Rockers probably gonna come out hot, and Rocker knows they got a tough schedule, so I'm gonna go OpTic winning it, but it's a must win in my opinion for them.
I think
for sure. Everything.
Yeah.
I think this is a bad matchup for Minnesota, especially an OpTic team coming off a loss. I think there's going to be a very quick series, OpTic 3-0.
Oh, wow.
OpTic 3-0. I think it's going to be a nail-biter series. I think it's just going to be going back and forth. And I think Minnesota Rocker is going to win last map. I'm going to go Minnesota Rocker 3-2. I don't know.
I think it'll be a 3-0. I think it'd probably be 3-1 OpTic, if anything. But yeah, I could see it going game 5 as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my boy Attach, and also Mama Attach is in the chat, so that might have swayed my opinion just a little bit. Seeing Mama Attach.
Listen, I don't
want to
this
disappoint
Minnesota
her.
team. I'm curious to see how they play this stage.
If Major Maniac is still playing like he played the kickoff, then it might be a different story.
They might be good, but I'm still. I want to again with Minnesota. It's the same thing as last year. Like I want to see what shape their hardpoint game is. Like we know they're going to be competitive in S&D. But their issue was like the one event where they had figured out hard points, they had that crazy comeback and they won. And the other events where their hard point wasn't good, they were struggling. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens map 1 in this series.
It's going to be interesting to see what the fuck happens in general tomorrow. I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen tomorrow. Anybody of these teams could win tomorrow. Like these matches are going to be insane. Today was insane. I feel like today caught a lot of people by surprise. Really long. And so was the show.
It wasn't as long. Yeah,
dude, we started our match an hour late.
Yeah,
schedule. Like, so oh my god.
Right now, by the way.
I was telling Ben, let that happen on Friday, bro. I'm cool with the late on Friday.
Yeah.
But
I showed up at the facility at 1 o'clock today and didn't play till 7. I was going through it.
Dude, it's almost 1 a.m. on the East Coast. It's almost 1 a.m. right now.
Oh
I mean,
my
you know what
God,
I'm
that's
saying?
insane.
It's nuts. That's why some of these days, man, they're just like they're just long days. You know, they're long fucking days. But it's enjoyable. I love it. I love watching. It's Saturday and Sunday for me. You know, it's just COD for me. You know, it's not every weekend. So I like to see the competition and do what we got to do. We got matches tomorrow. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Go to anchor.fm/The Flank to check out all the audio sites that we're on. Go follow The Flank on Twitter. Gary's doing a phenomenal job running socials over there. Huge shout out to Asim for coming on. Thank you, Asim. Yes, sir. It's always a pleasure. Good job today.
It's a tradition.
Well played,
You know me.
Ben, it's 1 a.m. You guys want to puff from Ben? Ben, are you feeling it right now?
Wait, Ben, you gotta hit one, bro. For the
Yeah, we'll hit a putt.
You want to hit a putt? Let's go.
Yeah,
I felt
hit it
bad
on my
asking him
camera.
to putt this late, but we'll.
It's all good.
Okay, we'll I felt bad. I don't want
hit
Ben
a
to-
quick one, Ben. Hit a
All
quick
right,
one.
hit a quick one real quick, Ben. Come on, hit a quick one for the one time. Huge shout out to Gizmo for coming on, and Trey and all the guys from London.
Sean
I thought
Collins
you made
as
a
well.
dog for a second.
No.
I was like, wait, where's Gizmo, bro? Where's he at?
I was like Gizmo from the London Royal Ravens, and then huge shout out as well to Sean Collins. That was actually Ben's doing. I didn't know anything about Sean Collins until today, and it's pretty cool what he's doing over there down in Dallas, reporting on OpTic a lot, and it was cool to have him on the show. So shout out to Ben for reaching out and getting him on the show. I thought he was a great addition. So
Let's get a win.
we'll definitely get Sean Collins back on. We'll get him back on. But hey, I got Trey, you, and Gizmo though. Asim, come on. Let's get a Zoomaa. Did he miss? Ben, we can't see.
We can't see the
Ben,
fucking...
we can't. Ben, we can't see, Ben.
Did you make it, Ben?
Yeah,
I think
I
you made
mean,
it.
I'm sorry. You had it cut off, Tom.
Yo, Tom, I'm calling
Oh, that was producer Tom then, dude.
Yeah.
No
Not
way,
really doing it. You got
bro.
one and done.
No way, dude.
Cat.
That's
Hit
a
one more. Hit one more for the culture.
damn,
For
dude.
culture.
For the culture though? For the culture though?
Yeah,
For the
we got it.
culture. Come on.
Okay. Hold on. I can't fuck this up again. Hold on. Hold on. I'm tired, bro. I gotta get out of here. He better hit this for the culture.
Wait, Pat, have you seen this tradition yet?
Yeah.
The Ben
Okay,
putt? Of
good.
course he's
Just
seen the
making
Ben
sure,
putt.
just
Of
making
course.
sure. Listen,
Oh,
Pat,
did
you'll
he
see a
sink
lot
it?
of...
Did he sink
Wait,
that?
did he hit it?
He
Yeah, he
hit
synced
that.
it. Yeah,
He
he
hit
synced
that,
it.
It's a
Ben.
nice Dallas flush.
Are you kidding?
I don't know.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Man, hey, the flank is real scuffed up here at 1 a.m., isn't it, folks?
No, dude.
Isn't it, folks? Man! Hey, we're muted here, ladies and gentlemen. Where was I muted from? Where the fuck was I muted from?
Just from Ben's second putt.
Oh, his second
So,
part.
yeah, just your outro.
Okay,
yeah.
Ben hit the second part, by the way. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Yeah, go there and get that FaZe Flame. Check out all the other sites we're on. This and that. Yeah, go, thank you to all the guests who came on. Go for the flank. How you doing? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow after the matches. I'm out. I love you guys, and it's always a pleasure.
Peace.
Take care,
Have a
guys.
good
Peace
day. Have
out.
a good
Sorry
day.
about that. Oh, Luma in the
good
chat.
day.
Luma in the chat. Luma. Sorry. Luma.